Well, we'll find out if, Riverside, you might be on your last leg today. We'll see.
I was saying that in the first episode, and I was like, actually, maybe I want you as a sponsor. Will you sponsor me?
We'll see. We'll see how you
Yeah,
do. I know
yeah.
this is exactly why we were talking about at the end of our phone call last week. We were talking about how we need to figure out how to just record the phone calls that we have that are interesting. And I lose so much good content when I'm talking to somebody on the phone. And then you've already said it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was really fun to do the show with Peter.
When was that?
It was Wednesday, and so he kind of did this thing that people do, and I'm trying not to do in this format of. So for those of you that don't know, Kevin and I used to be business partners, and we used to do this. And let me actually back up and give you the pre-context to the context so that everybody knows. And I just rolled with it. Um,
I mean, you
but it
kind of
was,
have to do that sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
Like, especially if you've known somebody for a long time, you'll start like Melissa and I had, for those of you who don't know, Kevin and I have a mutual friend named Melissa who actually introduced us like 10 years ago. So you and
Yeah.
I have known each other for 10 years because of Melissa. Well, Melissa and I had a podcast called the Glowwell Podcast, and it was like a wellness podcast. But we actually know each other so well. We've known each other for 30 years. And so we would start joking and like inside jokes would slip out. And then we'd be like, oh, well, nobody's going to get that actually. That's kind of rude.
Is it though? Or
I don't
is it
know.
part of the exploration, the character development, right? You're sitting here talking about this name, this name, this name, and this name, and nobody knows who those people are. And then 200 episodes in, that person comes in and they make some weird connection to something they listened to 2 years ago. Oh, that's that one guy that they were talking about, or one
If they've
gal.
hung on for 200 episodes, if they didn't get pissed off because they didn't know what was going on, I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, we'll have to just take a poll. People listening, dear listeners,
Your listeners,
dear listeners, let Kevin know if you want to know the backstory or if you want to just like kind of figure it out as you go along. I think people, it's probably half and half.
they should have some say, right?
Some people are
That's what
okay.
you're
I
saying.
think some people are okay with mystery, and some people need to know. Like, I'm the person who's sitting there watching a movie and annoying my husband because I recognize that actor and I've got to know who it is and what else he was in. And pretty soon I've missed half the movie because I know I'm on IMDb or
Oh
whatever
no,
it is, Googling the other 34 movies he's been in. Like, oh, did you see Jeremy? This was him. For those of you who don't know, Jeremy's my husband.
yeah.
You can't have me on here now without me saying, for those of you who don't know.
I mean, I think it's just
Now
the
I have
running
to.
joke. You have to do it. Yeah. It just reminds me of Cass, my son, right? We're in the movie and it just began, and he's like, "Why are they doing that? Who are these people?" Like, the movie hasn't even started yet.
Wait, you have a son?
Yeah, 9-year-old.
Oh, right. Okay, your
Yeah.
wife had, okay,
I
stepson.
call him
Okay.
my son
Well, yeah, of
because
course you do. Yeah,
I've I've been
absolutely.
his dad for half of his life at
I
this
just
point in time.
I just
Yeah.
forgot. And you and
Yeah.
I don't talk about kids very often.
Well, now
But
that I
yeah.
have two kids, it's like
Hmm.
all I talk about,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a whole new area of life that I have never explored before. I was just always the guy that didn't, I don't
So
know,
if
didn't do family and kids.
his name is his name's Cass.
Yeah.
So Cass is the age that my son Parker was when we met, when you and I became friends. And you used to send him all the scooter stuff and he was like, "That guy's so cool." He
It
like
is, it's
you
wild
were
though,
a big influence on him because of the scooter stuff.
for it's just kind of wild though, because he was just a little kid in the background during summertime coming in on our calls and being like, "I'm bored, I don't know what to do." You're like, "Go ride a
Do
bike,
something. I don't know. Well,
be
it's
a
hard
kid."
working in the summer, like working from home with your kid. You think it's going to be really convenient, but honestly, it's like as every parent found out during COVID, it's not easy to work at home with your kids. It's almost worse because you're just actively ignoring them all the time.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. Cass being 9, he's into YouTube and Minecraft and
Yeah.
Roblox and all of those those things. And it's a little bit easy to just be like, go play video games, go
Yeah,
watch YouTube. Um,
it's
I'm
tricky.
probably more of the person in the relationship who's like, stop, get outside, go do something. And I don't know, maybe I don't like that about myself, but
I would say
the reality is like it's a real freaking thing and I can't stand it.
I know Jeremy's the same way. We never let Parker have video games growing up. Like he had an iPad and he played Minecraft and Roblox, and it used to drive us crazy when he'd watch people play games. Like there was this one YouTuber named Cupquake, and she had blue hair, and I would just hear her voice in the background playing Minecraft all the time, and he'd just watch her play it, and I was like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life.
That's exactly what I say.
But I'm definitely the less strict of the two of us, of me and Jeremy, because we'll be at home. Me and Parker will be rotting on the couch with our phones, even now. And I'll be like, shit, dad's almost home. Look, get up and look
Get
productive.
up.
Like both of us.
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
like, I gotta run outside and water the plants and look like I'm doing something other than
Yeah,
rotting on the couch right now.
I'm guilty of that too, but I don't know.
Speaking of which, I've been
Yeah.
seeing this is totally random sidebar, but do you and your wife share locations? Like, do you stalk each other on Find My Friends?
Yes.
Okay. I've seen a couple of like TikToks about this lately where people are like, no, that's such an invasion or whatever. And I'm like, what? I absolutely like I love that Jeremy knows where I am all the time. And that
Really?
I can see when he leaves, like when he goes to ride his mountain bike and I can see that he's like on his way home. I'm like, cool. I'm sure he's gonna be starving. I'm hungry. I'll get some food going now so that everybody can eat when he gets home. He'll be home in 20 minutes. And then he doesn't have to call me and be like, I'm on my way home.
I think it's fucking weird.
I love it.
I have a new perspective on it now with a wife
Kids
and a
too.
family,
Yeah.
and then we have our au pair as well. I don't know if you knew
You have an
about
au pair? That's
we have
so
an au pair.
sophisticated.
I didn't even know what an au pair
Oh my
was.
God. Look at you.
Yeah,
Kevin.
I almost said something really weird. We ordered her from Germany.
I'm
No,
going to
so
pretend you didn't
the
say that.
yes, I know. I'm gonna pretend that I didn't say it either, but I just did. So
You
everybody
actually
gets
have
to
a
hear it.
German au pair. That is so cool.
Yeah,
She strict?
no. I was hoping for some like Mary Poppins shit that was just like, spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, go brush your teeth, get your ass in bed, like, but we're gonna go have fun during the day. It's not like that. I am not at all bashing our au pair, but I'll just tell you the process of what it was like. So I didn't even know what an au pair was. My wife was all about the research in that. And she had talked to some people. She found this company called Cultural Care. And it's kind of like Tinder or Bumble or Hinge, where you're kind of like swiping for people, minus the swiping. The platform is really old and gross and terrible. It looks kind of like Facebook V1 or MySpace or something like that. But the point is, you go through all these profiles and you can look at them, you can read about them, and they have these little videos that say why they want to become an au pair, why they'd be a good fit for your family. And basically, you can choose up to three, something like that, and say, I like these people. They can review our profile, see if they like us, and if they want to match. Then we have a few conversations. Based on those conversations, we decide to move forward. But essentially, the cultural care company puts all of this together. They sponsor I forget the name of the visa. They sponsor the visa for the person to come over. They collect a fee, and then the au pair now has somebody that they can, reach out to if they need anything.
Yeah.
Um,
That's cool.
so we went through, we found a couple. I brought in like the whole personality type thing into the choice of this. So I was like, we don't want an extrovert. We don't want somebody that wants to just come here to party and experience American culture. We're looking for somebody to integrate in our family, take care of our kids, help out around the house. And so we found the person that we have right now. And I think we talked once or maybe twice. And it was just like it was a great fit. And we're like, hey, you're the one. She's like, great, you're the one. And she flew out in June of 24. and she stayed with us for a year, and then we chose to re-sign for another 6 months, so we extended, and she's now with us until December of this year. And so having the au pair, getting back to the find my friends thing, I didn't realize that that was really a thing amongst people. Marshall would allow me to see her location. I didn't share mine. And we kind of liked it like that for like a minute
What? Oh, I'd be so offended.
because well, she was saying, I like that you know where I'm at. You can find me, whatever, whatever. And then she was like, I kind of like not knowing where you're at.
Hmm.
But I mean, it wasn't like I was sneaking around or anything. It was just sort of like, you're going to go to work and you're going to come home. So I don't really care. Fast forward, our au pair shows up. We start talking about that. She shares her location with us for her own safety, in her words. Then I find out that she tracks everybody. She's got a list this long of people who they just share their locations, and it's a thing,
Yeah.
especially amongst those Gen Zers. They
Yeah.
all share their
Well, I think
locations now.
Snapchat, you can see everyone's. I don't really use Snapchat anymore. I only liked it for the filters, but all Parker uses Snapchat and they can see where they all are. In fact, we originally started sharing locations because Parker would call me every time I was gone. He'd call me and be like, "Where are you? When are you coming home?" And I'd be like, "How about I just share my?" And inevitably, I was always just down the street, like almost home. And it's so annoying to get a phone call when you're almost home. Like, where are you? So I was
You're
like,
like,
"How
I'm
about you
around the
just
corner, kid.
how about I just share my location so you can see that I'm pulling into the driveway instead of me getting this like irritated call that I'm not home fast enough,
Yeah.
little brat." So then when we all, and now like just like your au pair, all my girlfriends and I share each other's location. Some of them are single. So that's, I want to know if she goes on a date with somebody where she's at, for safety wise.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
It's something that I didn't know anything about, and now I share my location. We went to New York. Basically, my wife was like, I have to go out there for work. Do you guys want to come and make this like a little family slash work trip? So we were there for 5 days or something like that. She had to work on the tail ends of the weekend. Um, so basically, I had the kids to myself in New York.
that's a lot.
My first time being there. She lived there for like maybe a year, so she knows all of the little hoods to dip into and all the cool spots to go. I don't even know which way was up or down when I got there, and I had two kids with me, so I was like, share the location, and then I never turned it off, and now I share my location, and um, I don't know if she stalks me, but I stalk her when she goes on trips. I'm like,
I stalk
what is
Jeremy
she
all the
doing at a
time.
bar right now?
Right? When I went to Alaska last summer, I kept looking just to see how far away I was from everybody. And I was like, oh, I'm so far from my family. But
Man,
like I stalk Jeremy all the time. Yesterday afternoon, I was at my friend's house or at my friend's little boutique hanging out with her, having a beer. And then I thought I had like 2 more hours before Jeremy would get home. But then I stalked his location. He was like pulling in the driveway. And so I called him and I was like, what are you doing home already? I thought I had 2 more hours before I had to come home and start like domesticating.
right?
And he was like, oh, I got off early. No, I'm good. I'm going to go for a bike ride. See you later. But anyway, it's
Yeah,
funny.
it's an odd
It's a whole
thing.
thing.
I didn't know about it. Now I do, and I guess I'm not opposed to it, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of creepy, I
I think
suppose.
the only reason I would have a problem with it is if I was doing something shady. Like,
Yeah, I just think it's because I was single for so long and nobody was there to sort of account for where I was at any given time.
yeah. I mean, I get why people would want the privacy or like the it's not even privacy. It's like people who say that they don't like their spouse doesn't have the code for their phone. I think that's so weird. Like I have all of Jeremy's passwords. He doesn't really have any of mine. In fact, sometimes I worry about that. Like if something happened to me, he wouldn't even know any of his passwords because I keep them all in my vault and just because he doesn't write anything down.
Yeah, I mean we know the pins to each other's phones. We know some of the general passwords, but I'm sure there's a bunch that we don't know. And to be fair, Marshall's big wig corporate executive level stuff. And so she has to have like one password,
I was gonna
meaning
say.
the software, right? And it houses all of the passwords. So she's, I don't know, she looks into the camera and it scans her retina and her brain, and then it inputs, a 64-bit encryption code on it. And so all of that fun stuff. So there's not a chance I could log in anyways. And I don't really care. I don't have any reason for that. But sharing stuff is interesting. Having a family and growing that is
Been a
interesting.
it's been a change for you. You were single for a long time.
Very long time. Yeah. It's odd. I caught up with a good friend Wednesday, and we run into each other throughout the year, like in town. I'll see him driving, I'll see him, he's a construction guy, so I see him running an excavators over here, and we're always like, hey, let's get together, let's do this, let's do that. We never do. Well, he started a family in his early 20s. His oldest is 16, I believe, now. And so catching up, he's like, man, you've got tattoos, you're married, you have two kids. What happened? And I was like, I don't know.
Kevin's a late bloomer.
I'm a late bloomer. Let's just say it like that. Yeah.
I mean, it takes a while to
Um,
find somebody too. I mean, I feel like, I have a sister-in-law who's still dating. She's in her late 30s, and she's just like, she's kind of sad sometimes when I talk to her, because she's like, I really thought I'd find somebody by now, but all the men that she's dated have been older and they've got baggage, they've got kids, and she doesn't want kids. So that's like a big conflict. If you don't want kids and somebody's got kids already, that's a tough one to send back.
yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think it's
It's
possible.
frowned upon.
When I was going through that whole dating 10 year, there was it was one of the two sides. You have a kid or multiple kids, or you don't have them and you don't want them. And I was like in the middle. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I don't have any. I probably want some, but at the same time, I'm getting older. I gotta find the right person. And I mean, luckily I found Marshall. She had one, and then we had one, and we have a nice family. But that was a hard dynamic to deal with in the
Yeah.
dating zone. And to be fair, most of the people that had kid had a lot of baggage,
Yeah. One of
and
my
especially,
girlfriends just got divorced, and she's got twin daughters that are 16. So she's kind of on the tail end of it. Like, it does get easier. My son, Parker, he's 19, and it's a lot easier than it used to be. He's a good kid. He doesn't get in a lot of trouble, and it's just a lot easier now. So you're on the tail end of it, right? But she wants to date. She's been dating a little bit, my friend, and she wants to date younger guys because all their equipment still works really well. But they tend to have younger kids too. Their kids aren't quite as old. So she's like, on the one hand, like, if I am just in this for a good time, that's fine. But if I develop a relationship and an affinity for somebody and I want to be part of their life, then I'll end up parenting, teenagers all over again. And I'm not sure I really want to do that. So, I mean, she's having to make
yeah,
you can't have it all.
you can't. It's really hard. I dated some young people, you know, not underage, but like 10 years younger than me when I was in my 30s. And I
Oof.
was like, these people,
How did that
I
go?
I mean, horrible. It was awful.
Just maturity wise?
100% maturity. Yeah. You're like, oh, this is really fun. And we're going out and doing things like, oh, I remember doing some of these things. And then you try to have a conversation and you're like, oh no, we're on two different
Totally different
planets.
planets.
We're not even close. So those were hard. And then, now having our au pair is 25, I'm like, I don't know anything about your generation. I
Yeah.
can't figure you guys out. And one of the things that we notice with that generation is if it's not served to them on a platter, they don't know what to do. Like the problem solving skills of that generation are almost non-existent. It's pretty freaking wild. And maybe my experience is a little bit skewed because our au pair's from Germany, so she's trying to figure out all the American things. But like she had a nail in her tire the other day and her tire was going flat. And she called me. I was like, what do you want me to do about it? Like go get it fixed. She's like, but I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, first you should put air in the tire, see if it holds. She was like, okay, where do I get that? I'm like, oh my God, like this is really, really hard. You guys don't know how to figure anything out. And
Well,
I grew up in a world where there was no internet, there was no chat GPT, there was none of this stuff. So you had to figure it out. Or you just saw your parents going through that stuff when you were a kid, whatever. Like you were just a little bit more in tune with problem solving. And I'm probably sounding very old right now, but it's a
oh, but
real freaking thing.
you're, I mean, you're a little bit younger than me. When were you born?
85.
Okay, so you're kind of still part of that generation. I was born in 80, so I consider myself part of that kind of weird shoulder generation where we didn't
Hmm.
have any of this technology growing up. So we did, you're right, we drank out of the hose. We had to like Gen Xers, but I feel like
Love
I'm not
that.
a Gen Xer though, because I feel more like millennial.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me what to do. Like,
Yeah.
but we had to adopt technology and kind of roll with it really quickly. And so
Yeah.
we've seen both sides of it. And I feel like I at that age that we were when technology was developing so quickly and the internet was coming out, our brains were still so plastic that we have, and I think we have a unique ability to like understand what it was like back then, but also adopt these quick solutions. But we can still, like you said, problem solve. We can still figure it out if we have to. We can still read a map.
Yeah, I remember printing out MapQuest instructions and doing this while driving, trying to figure out where I'm going, what I'm doing.
I actually thought about that a couple of days ago because we're going to on a camping trip to the Mammoth area, and this coming weekend. And I don't know where we're going because I've never been there before. And my sister cousin, who's gonna be there with us, she was like, "There's no cell phone reception and no Wi-Fi there, so be prepared to bring a book or something." And I was like, I'm actually kind of upset about it because I'm
Yeah,
like, well, Parker's coming after us. What if he gets lost? Like, he definitely doesn't know how to read a map. Um,
right.
so I'm
You
a
know
little
what
nervous.
I think about often when I first started driving and we had the Nokia cell phones. I would drive and talk on that phone all the time. It wasn't even an issue. Have you tried holding your phone to your ear and talk and drive? Like
Not
in the last
lately.
5 years,
Not lately.
it's hard.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know why. Like somehow in my truck the Bluetooth didn't connect one day. And I was driving and I got a call from Marshall and I was like, I gotta pick this thing up. And so I pick it up and I'm holding it and I'm driving and it
I think
felt
that's your
so
age.
it probably is, but when I first started driving and first had a cell phone, that was just what you did. You were just like, yeah, what's up, man? What's going on? You're cruising down the street.
Well, that was quite some time ago, though. You probably didn't have to turn down the volume to find an address back then either.
Sure. But it's an odd sensory.
I'll have to try it and see how it goes because I have not tried it. I think the last time my Bluetooth wasn't working, I had it on speaker and I was just holding it. I didn't have it like up to my ear though.
Yeah, I did old school right up to my ear. And it just felt really weird. Like I didn't have control of either thing. And I still think about it all the time. Like that was such an easy thing. I also think this is a really, really weird thought, but I also think that these auto manufacturers are fucking with the glass and like the windshields on these newer vehicles
So that they break all
where
the time?
probably, but more from a visual perception.
Really?
When this happened in my Tacoma when I bought a newer Tacoma and now it's in the Ford that I have. When I'm sitting there and I'm looking straight out the windshield, everything looks clear. But if I tilt my head just a slight bit, everything goes a little bit wonky. maybe I'm getting old and my eyes are starting to fail me, or there's something in the glass that is making it really weird. But
Interesting.
I'll fuck around with it. I'm driving and I'll just drive like this from
So have
time
you
to time.
noticed it? You noticed it in your Tacoma and in your Ford?
Yeah.
Huh.
But I drove my 99 Tacoma. I bought it when I graduated high school and I drove that until 2022. And that was never a problem. But this Tacoma was like roll your windows down like this, you know, slide the little heater button to slot number 3 to get the AC blowing or whatever. It was old school. And then when I bought the new Tacoma, it was a 21 and had all the fancy electronic shit. I started to notice this, and maybe this is an age thing, but I nearly got into 2 accidents in that Tacoma where somebody in front of me was slowing down rapidly, and I didn't catch it until much later. And I was like, holy shit, like how is this happening? I've been driving for 25 years at this point. How did I almost get into 2 accidents? And I had never been in an accident in my life leading up to that point. So it was really, really bad in the Tacoma. In the Ford, I haven't had any problems with that like depth perception, but it was happening on the Tacoma. It's really, really strange.
What kind of Ford are you driving?
A Super Duty 350 now.
Oh,
Big old,
Jesus.
big old diesel.
Wow.
A lot of reasons for that, but well, the main reason was I just wanted one. I was like,
I didn't say anything.
no, no,
I
I
didn't even
understand that.
say
I
anything.
know. You just gave me the look. Couple of reasons. I bought the Tacoma and I loved it, and it was just Louis and I in the Tacoma, and he would ride shotgun all the time. And then I got with Marshall, and all of a sudden, just putting Cass in the back was like, there's not any room. And the Tacomas have a little tiny 5 foot bed in the back. So it was really, 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 really small. So I was like, okay, it's probably time to go a little bit bigger. Um,
No, I get it. You're a family man now. And I don't see you driving a minivan. So, what are your
no,
options?
right, go straight to the full size 1 ton Super Duty that can pull a spaceship. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense.
I say if you want it, though, sometimes I know this is coming from a very privileged space, but also, like, if you buy a car and you love it, you're going to drive the wheels off of it.
Yeah.
And you're never like buying and selling cars is always a losing venture. I cannot tell you how much money I just had the worst like car buying experience because I accidentally fucked up and bought a front wheel drive and I wanted all wheel drive and I can't like I could get out of my driveway, but if it ever frosted, I wouldn't get out of my driveway. So I kind of need like all wheel drive or 4 wheel drive at least. And then I traded it in. I lost a ton of money trading it in and got the car that I wanted. And the more I drive it, the more I love it. And I'm going to drive it forever till the wheels fall off. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird that I'm driving one of those and I don't tow a lot of things around. I drive it from my house to downtown. I park in the parking garage. I come into my office. I do computer work. Like it's really kind of
You're not really
cheesy.
pushing the limits of what that truck can do.
No, but I'll open it up when I get out there. And and to be fair, I have a drift boat that I like to float down rivers and go fishing out of. And the Tacoma can pull it, but the Tacoma already got 15 miles to the gallon in a new Tacoma. And then I'd pull the boat and it was like 11. So I was like, why not go to the biggest thing possible? That Ford gets 20, 22 miles to the gallon. And then you pull anything and it doesn't even know it's behind it. And so it doesn't drop. So I'm like, fuck it. Go get the big truck.
Just do it.
Just do it. Then you get to drive around in a diesel all
What
day and you're
color
like,
is it?
uh, it's like a dark gray type of a color. We we were we were talking about getting a new truck, and Marshall was like, "If you get a stupid 350, I am not riding in that truck with you. I will be embarrassed." to be in that truck. And then we found it and then we bought it. And now she's like, I love riding in this truck because it's huge.
Well, it's
The
so nice to
seat,
sit up high like that too.
oh, you got height, you like each seat. I mean, there's like 2 feet between me and the passenger. In the Tacoma, like your shoulders are rubbing together. So
Yeah.
she really likes it. I really like it. The kids like it. It's got like heating and cooling in the seats and
Ugh.
AC back there, and they get to press all the buttons, and it's moonroof, the whole 9 yards. But we got a really good deal on it. I I was aggressive on paying the Tacoma down when I bought it, so I owed a little bit, but essentially that was a huge down payment on the truck, and we got a pretty solid deal. So
I know car payments suck. We've got a little bit. We owe a little bit left on Jeremy's Ranger. He's got a newer Ford Ranger, but other than that, we just paid off the van a little while ago. We've got that transit van. We're thinking about selling it because we don't do a lot of like we used to travel around when the boys were racing mountain bikes and stay in it and sleep in it and stuff. But Parker's 19 now and he doesn't. I don't even think he could fit in it to sleep.
yeah.
So, but like we're taking it camping this weekend. We'll be in like a cabin situation, but we do need to sleep in it one night. So we have the bed in there. It's kind of nice if you do need to sleep in it. And I love it for skiing. Like we take it skiing in the winter and you can change in there and hang out when it's cold outside. And so I don't know. Part of me wants to get rid of it because we need the room in the driveway. And it's just like when it sits all summer, I feel bad. But
Hmm.
then in the winter when we use it for skiing, I'm like, fuck, I really like this van. Like I'd be mad. I'd be really mad if like my skis were on top of the vehicle right now and I was changing in the parking lot.
Where do
So
you guys go ski at?
Sugar Bowl.
Yeah. Isn't Sugar Bowl getting like a facelift right now?
I don't know. We've gone there for years. The the homeowners own Sugar Bowl. It's like owned by the homeowners association. And so I think they kept cutting back the number of passes that they would sell every year. So it's never crowded. Like you never stand in line there. And it's only 45 minutes from our house. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I mean, there's so many cool ski resorts around here, but it's so close. Like you can mountain bike in the morning and ski in the afternoon. And, you know, it's just so close.
Yeah. I think about, I mean, I think about what happened up in Tahoe. I haven't been down to Tahoe in
You mean like the housing and stuff?
just how much it's blown up.
Yeah.
Our trainer used to live down there. He lived in Tahoe City and Incline Village, and then I have some buddies or a buddy that lives. What's the what's the little town just outside of South Lake? Myers.
Oh,
I think he lives there in Myers, but he just I hear the reports of like it is bananas. Like the housing that's gone in and the people that have moved there and all of that stuff. But yeah, I haven't been down to Tahoe in easily 10 years. But I do miss that area. I miss some of those. I miss going to like Donner Pass and or Donner Ski Ranch, whatever the place was called. Um,
yeah.
like that stuff was so much fun. It was so old school. It was a blast from the past. So
Parker and Jeremy get up there all the time for like to ride moto and ride mountain bikes and stuff. And I don't get up very often, but I think I might go tomorrow up to Truckee and golf at this little municipal course called Ponderosa that's super fun.
yeah. So you got into golf because you wanted more time with Jeremy and you had no experience in golf, right?
Had very little experience in golf. Yeah, our friends, we have a couple friends that we were playing pickleball with a lot. And I went to high school with him. Jeremy and I both went to high school together and we went to high school with our friend Matt and then his wife Sky. They golfed all the time and they were like, you should come try it. It's silly. We'll go to the little 9-hole course. We'll just play best ball. It'll be super, super chill. And it's been tough because Jeremy gets really, really frustrated and I'm not as competitive. So I don't really care if I suck. But I thought it would be a good thing for us to keep doing together just because Parker's not as interested in hanging out with us as he used to be. And we're very different. We have very different, like, recreational activities. Like, he loves to mountain bike. And I'm like, it's okay. I really don't want to get hurt. I feel like I'm going to get hurt every time I get on a mountain bike. And
Yeah.
historically, that is true. But yeah, so we picked it up about 18 months ago together. But I did have like a week of golf camp when I was like 8 years old because my grandparents made all us grandkids do it. And then I did play like for a few months in high school, just with some friends. We used to sneak out to Auburn Valley Country Club and play like at twilight, but pretty minimal. I didn't know any rules or anything.
Sure. And how do you like it now?
Well, I'm obsessed. It's
Are you?
my ADHD is hyper fixated on it right now. Yeah.
What is it
You should see
about
my
golf?
TikTok thread. It's my TikTok algorithm is just all golf.
What is it
It's
about it
addictive.
that I understand that, but like, are you obsessed with the idea of being out on a course, or are you obsessed with perfecting the swing and the chips and all of that stuff? Like, is it the technical part of golf that you like?
I think it's both. I really like being out there. It's like hanging out in a park day drinking. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a
there's a
good
lot of
time. It's
drinking in
fun.
golf
I mean, you can do it without drinking
for
also.
sure.
But last I joined the ladies league at the local golf club here, and at 9:30, so we started playing at like 8, and when the beverage cart gal came by at 9:30, I was so frustrated. I got a double vodka lemonade.
Atta girl.
And actually my game got a little better.
It always
But
does.
there's
See,
a
I don't.
balance.
I start with something. Like we're out on the driving range just practicing, waiting, for our tea time to come up, and I got a beer down at minimum.
See, I didn't even know you golfed. Are you good at it?
No. Let me say it like this. I grew up golfing. I
Do you have
played
a
in
handicap?
tournaments. I don't not that I know of. Like I was the I was like the sports kid growing up, right? So I did all of the sports. And my dad started taking me to the golf course, I think like when him and my grandpa would go. And so I started at a really young age and I did like classes at Whitney Oaks. Or no,
Wow.
wait. What is that? Is it Whitney Oaks?
I think Whitney
That
Oaks is down in Rockland.
that right off of Midas? I think it's closed down now. Is
I think
that
it was.
correct?
I think that
Yeah.
is Whitney Oaks.
Okay, so it's
I
Whitney Oaks, I believe. So I would go and do swimming lessons there, and I would do golf lessons there. And then we would play out at Indian Creek a lot.
played there last night with Jeremy.
Nice. I
Or
haven't
no,
played
the
there
night
in
before, night
20
before.
years. Yeah. So I would play a lot, and I was pretty good, and I played in tournaments, but my brain didn't know how to like keep score or um, figure out your handicap. So I don't know. And I played quite a bit until I moved up here. And then, because I was in my like poor phase of life, in my 20s, where it was like I had $50 and I could spend that at the bar or I could go golf. And so I just went to the bar and did it there. But we would play every now and again. And I mean, I can hang. Like I'm pretty all right.
It sounds like it. I'll bet you're probably better than you give
Probably
yourself
better
credit
than
for.
some folks, but I take it very not serious,
Yeah.
meaning I don't want to wear shoes. I don't really care about the attire. I want to drive the cart because that's always fun.
Yep.
I like I like hitting my drivers. I don't really like the fairway so much. I like I like a short approach. Like I at Whitney Oaks, I got really good at chipping. So I
Hmm.
really like the chip and I hate putting. So I walk up to the ball in the green, and I just go and just kind of smack it at the hole. And a lot of times I'll nail it like a 30-foot putt, and then other times I'm like 15 feet past it. Uh, but I think if I went with people who didn't take it seriously, it would be fine. I get frustrated when people are like by the book and like, sure, let's be quiet, let's have some course etiquette, but like we're also here, we're amateurs, we're having fun. Let's not be too serious about it. We're 40 years old here, okay? So if I went with people that didn't take it so seriously, I think I'd actually loosen up even more and I would play better. But over the last few years, I've developed this really nasty slice. And it was because somewhere in my 20s, I had figured out how I could correct the slice. And then fast forward to today, I try to recreate that thing, but I don't play often enough. So that the
Yeah.
swing is all broken. And I can hit the ball at country mile, but it
It's
might
t-
be 2 holes over.
It's a tough sport. I mean, when you think about all the like when you think about the fact that that ball's just sitting there not even doing anything
Right.
and you're the only factor, how many different ways can I fuck this up every single time? But then
Every
you get
way.
one great shot and you're like, that felt really good. It sounded good too. And then I'll inevitably, if I hit a great drive, everything else I do sucks on that hole.
Of course.
Chipping's
Yeah,
hard. Chipping is really hard.
it is. Yeah. I I don't know. I enjoy golf. I love it. All of the aspects of golf are hard, but it's just fun to hear you like get into that thing of all things.
I know. I'm so annoyed with myself because I won't shut up about it. I'm annoying myself with how obsessed I am. And I know Jeremy's not as into it as I am, but he's playing with me because it's something we can do together. And I don't take it too seriously. So if he sucks, it's okay. It's not like we're being competitive, but it's definitely been a culture, like it's been culture shock because the friends we play with, we have music going, we're drinking, we're having a good time. Nobody takes it seriously. If I like up until this point for the last 18 months, sometimes we play best ball. Um, if I hit it out of bounds and I can't find it, I just throw a new ball on the fairway and I don't give myself a penalty. Half the time we don't even keep score
Yeah, I do the
because
same
that just
stuff.
makes it not very much fun sometimes. But
Yeah.
I wanted to golf more often because I do feel like I'm only 45, and if this is a sport that I could do for the next 20 years, I feel like I could progress and be decent at it at some point in the future. And so I do want to get better, which means I need to play more and I need to play with people who are better than me. And so I joined the ladies league at the country club, but they're very, I mean, they say they're there for fun, but they're very rigid about the rules. And in fact, one of the rules they have is even more rigid for the golf league specifically, is more rigid than like the house rules for the course. Like the men's league, they give you free relief in all the tree wells, regardless of where they are. But the ladies league, if you're on like the wrong side of the cart path, you don't get free relief and you have to hit it where it lies, which has happened to me several times, which is why I just switched from right-handed to left-handed because I had a wicked slice too that I couldn't fix. I think I told you I was doing that. Didn't I?
No, you
No.
switched from
So
right
like,
hand to left hand?
yeah, just
What are
this
you, Phil
weekend, this
Mickelson?
last
What's going
weekend.
on?
No, but okay. Well, I mean, maybe there's a little maybe Phil in me somewhere. I don't know. But I'm left-handed. I'm very left-handed. And my husband's left-handed too, but he's always played all his sports. He throws right-handed, he bats right-handed. So I I learned right-handed when I was like 8. And then I did play like for those few months in high school, I played left-handed. So I have done both, but when you start playing, I tried a left-handed club, I tried a right-handed club, but when you start playing, nothing feels good. Everything sucks. Contact is inconsistent. Everything feels awkward. Switching hands was weird. So the golf pro down at Hagen Oaks, where we were demoing the clubs, he was like, if you can play right-handed at all, since you're just getting started, just play right-handed because your club selection is going to be easier to find. You'll be able to pick up whatever equipment you need right-handed. It's just so much easier. And so I did. But I got to suspecting that maybe I was fucked up just recently. And so I didn't tell you what I did with ChatGPT.
Talking about
I
it in our
feel like
last call, but you were
I
just
might not have done it yet. I
you had
think I
just
hadn't done it
mentioned that
yet.
you were putting in a
Okay,
bunch
so
of
here's what I
data into
did.
it. Yeah.
Here's what I did. I went to Hagen Oaks and I took my right-handed clubs with me and I demoed some of the same exact clubs but left-handed. And I videotaped myself in slow motion just from the rear. I didn't get the front or the side, but I just did the rear view. And I hit like 3 or 4 balls with three different clubs, left-handed and right-handed. And then I uploaded it to ChatGPT and I said, "Here's what's going on. I've got a terrible slice with when I'm driving. Um, I'm I just suck. Like, tell me what I'm doing wrong and tell me if how my swing looks left-handed versus right-handed. Like, which way should I be playing?" And she said, she's like, "I hate to tell you this, because you already have right-handed clubs and everything, but you look way more natural. You're coming over the top when you're playing right-handed. You look you're like your hips aren't engaging. And left-handed, even though you look timid probably because you haven't been swinging that direction, it looks more natural and you look more athletic and your hips are actually moving the way that they're supposed to move." And so I was like, "Well, shit. Are you just telling me this because you think it's what I want to hear?" And she was like, "No, that's a valid question, but no, here's why." So ChatGPT says I should be playing left-handed. I had a lesson the next day, last Saturday, already set up to help fix my slice try with this guy at the pro shop that we've done some lessons with before. So he's seen me swing right-handed quite a bit. And I just said, instead of trying to fix my slice, go bring down the left-handed demo clubs or the left-handed clubs and watch me swing left and right and tell me what you think. And he was like, he felt really bad at first because he was like, did I miss this when we started doing lessons? Like, is this my fault? And I was like, no, I don't think I even mentioned that I was actually left-handed. But he's like, I tell Jeremy, I'm really sorry, but I think you need to go get some left-handed clubs and start. Like, better late than never, right? Like,
Whoa.
I'm 18 months into it. Yes, I've got some muscle memory. I'm used to swinging right-handed, but I'm not doing very well.
Yeah.
It's not going well. And it was really obvious once I started keeping score with the ladies because I've been working really hard on my short game, but it's easier to manipulate your short game than it is your full swing.
Percent.
So it was taking me like, I was pretty consistently like 1, 2, 3 putting. Like that's been better, but I was taking like 6 shots to get to the green. And these ladies are going straight. So even if they're not hitting as far as I am sometimes, they're getting there faster than me because I'm off in the fucking bushes and behind
Yeah.
trees and shit.
That's old man, old lady golf, right? You don't
Oh,
swing hard,
so
you just hit
smart.
it straight, you
They're so
just
smart
get
about it.
there. Oh
They're
yeah.
laying up. They're not trying to take the big shot across the pond. They're super smart. And so I did it. I went and I traded the next day. I went to Hagen Oaks and I traded all my clubs in. They gave me a really good trade-in value, and I only had to come out of pocket a couple $100 to basically replenish my bag with left-handed clubs.
Okay.
And it's going straight. I played 18 holes Sunday for the first time, and then I played 18 holes Wednesday morning and 9 on Wednesday night. And I'm hitting probably twice as far with my driver.
Whoa.
And contact is pretty like it's inconsistent still because I still don't really trust myself. But when I'm at the range and I'm hitting, it's going way farther and it's going straight. So I don't
Crazy.
know. It was a bold move, but I
I
think
mean,
it's
you're
going
a
to pay
golfer
off.
now. You're talking the talk and you're doing it.
I know, I love it. I think it's so fun, and I wish there were like more young gals that would go play with me. It's like it's not a I mean, not that I'm young, but like my cart pal at the last game was 86.
Sure.
And
Kind of cute.
it's cute, but they're also, they're not moving very quickly. And I feel like we don't really have a lot in common. Like one of them used to play golf with my grandma.
That, that's a
But
thing.
I'm learning a lot, and I really do you hate it when people give you unsolicited advice? Or are you one of those people who's just very humble and gracious about it?
That's an interesting question.
Or does it depend on what it is?
I was gonna say it depends on what it is, what category we're talking about. Like if somebody wanted to just give me unsolicited advice about branding
Building
or
websites?
marketing, building websites, I'd be like, go fuck yourself. I don't
You
have
know
time
what?
for
As soon
this.
as I said that, I thought back. I was like, you know what? Actually, I think I know the answer to this because I think I've given you advice that you didn't ask for before. And
But,
had you been like, fuck off.
but, a lot of times when it's a stranger to me and they just say something and it clicks, I'm like, thank you. That's really nice. That was very helpful. Thank you. So I think I'm pretty open to it in a lot of areas. I think it also depends on like how the advice, how we arrive to the advice. So if we're golfing and I'm playing with a buddy who's really good and we're driving to the golf course and he's like, "Oh dude, I'll teach you. I'll fix your swing. I got all this. I got all of that." And then we get to the course and I'm warming up and he was like, "Oh, it's pretty good. Just maybe try this." And then we get on the course and I hit a terrible shot and then he jumps in there. I'm like, "Fuck you. Get out of here. I don't have time for this."
Yeah.
But but if they just like come in at hole 3 and they're like, "Hey, it's pretty clear that you're doing this," I'll be like, "All right, I'll think about that." So I just think if it's like you kind of poke and prod along the way, like I'm better than you, I know more than you, or I can fix this for you, then I get pissed off. But if it just kind of comes in out of nowhere out of left field, I'll actually take that advice. So I think it's how we arrive to that.
I think it depends on who's giving
I'm
the
an asshole.
advice. No, you're not. I'm very like averse to advice, even though I need it sometimes. And I'm new to the golf game, so I'm trying to be super humble. But like on the course when you're playing is not the time to fix things.
100%.
And it happened to me, like it's happened to me before when I was trying to get out of the sand during a tournament, and the guys we were playing with, I got to play in a tournament for Jeremy's work, and it was really fun. But I was like, I hit like maybe one shot that we used in the best ball. Like, it was just, I was third wheel. But these guys we were playing with were really good, and so I was struggling to get out of the sand. And he came over and he was like, "Here, try opening up your club face a little bit." And it was brilliant. And I was like, "That's amazing, thank you so much." But then
Right.
Wednesday when I was playing, I was actually driving pretty decently, and I didn't even have my driver yet. I was hitting a 5 wood off the tee because I didn't have a driver yet, and it went just a little bit left, but it wasn't bad. If we hadn't been like right on the edge of a creek, it would have stayed in. Um, and one of the ladies I was playing with, she goes, "I know what you're doing wrong. You're doing X, Y, Z." And I was like, "Thank you so much for that observation."
Yeah.
But in my head,
Go
I'm
fuck
like,
yourself.
"Go, just shut the fuck up." I don't want to
Yeah.
hear that right now because I probably already know what I did wrong there. Like that is, I probably came over the top a little bit or didn't have my club face closed or whatever. Um, and it's already done. So shut up.
So yeah, you could have told me that before I swang,
Well, it's
Swang,
also it's
swung,
I'm in the
swung.
middle of I'm playing. I don't need any more stuff in my head to think about right now,
Have
especially as
you
a beginner
watched
golfer.
have you watched Stick?
Yes. Have you?
I'm like waiting for the last episode. We
I
finished all of
know.
them up until last night.
Yep, we caught up on that last episode last night. It's
It is
super
a
cute.
real, but it's a real thing though. Like one bad shot and you're just in your head the rest of the time. And you got to use what is it, Gary Grosswiener's idea of forgetting your last shot and moving forward, whatever the guy's name is. But it's a very heady sport. Um, it's fun, it's cool. I'm glad that you're doing it. I haven't golfed too much recently. I did golf with my father-in-law, and I don't know if he enjoyed it. He might have, but shortly thereafter, I landed a golf client. And so I have a current client on retainer that runs a private club here in Bend. And I probably should have called you and just picked your brain for hours about golf because I'm like a touch removed from it.
Mm.
I've played most of my life. I understand the game, the rules, the people, but I'm not like right on the cusp of it. Ultimately, golf is kind of in its upswing right now, right? It's coming back, just
I
like
think COVID
Formula
helped with
One.
that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm saying formula and exactly, yeah.
It's interesting golfing as a female because we're definitely the minority. Like when Jeremy and I went up to Bandon Dunes, I didn't even know what a big deal Bandon Dunes was up in Oregon. It's like a destination for golf. And when I had ChatGPT help us plan our itinerary for our anniversary road trip, it said, "By the way, if you're into golf, Bandon Dunes is up here." And so we were like, "Cool, let's go check it out." I didn't realize it was such a big deal. People were there from Canada and like the East Coast on all these broy trips. I saw one other, we were there for 2 days. We stayed at the resort and I saw one other female golfer the whole
Really?
time. And it was an older gal playing with her husband. I was like the only woman of my age. It was just, it's such a broy sport. I'm
Yeah.
almost always the only female at the driving range. It took me a really long time to even be comfortable enough to go there by myself because I know everybody wants to give you advice. All the dudes are all like, "Hey, check out this YouTube channel. It's got some really great yada 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 or whatever." Like, I just leave me the fuck alone. It's terrible. All this podcasting stuff is just complicated. I'm really impressed that you've got your whole setup together and you figured it out. You took a very long time deciding how you wanted to set up.
I mean, I have the camera up here now, and yesterday I had it over here, and I'm like just trying to kind of play with it. I'm I'm realizing that this software is pretty glitchy, and you know, whatever. It
I
works.
mean, none
It
of them
works
are
for now.
perfect. I want to say I used Squadcast for a little while, and that was fine. Um, but I had really slow Wi-Fi at the time too,
Yeah.
so that was part of the problem. I don't know. Zoom has been pretty good,
I
but
mean,
The only problem with Zoom is that, oh no, you know what? You do get separate audio tracks with Zoom. Yeah.
I think I think what I want to do is just get it set up for in person,
Hmm.
and then you can control everything. And if you do a Zoom call, then it's like whatever, it's just a Zoom call. But kind of relying on Riverside as a platform seems a little bit odd. It's really good. It's got great features, but it seems really glitchy. Like in the first show with Peter, it stopped halfway through and kicked us both out,
Oh my God.
which is fun. When you go back and you look at the editor, it just has the different video tracks, the different audio tracks, and it just layers them and connects them, and it's not a problem. But it's kind of weird to be like, we're just gone. Where did we go?
Well, you
What
kind of
happened?
want to do in-person recording anyway, right?
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Um, yeah, it's complex. I was talking about this yesterday. It's just so complex. You kind of have to plan out each item appropriately. You have to have an XLR microphone because that's got to go into a mixer. And then you have to have cameras that, um, you know, I don't know, have an HDMI cable that can go into that same mixer so the audio and the video can connect. And then you have to use the right platform. And so I can go out and buy a Rode pod mic, and then I might not be able to use that in the future because it just uses USB or something like that. Um, but
Yeah, in person is that's been one of the most frustrating things starting this podcast with my sister Christmas has been that she wants to record in person all the time. And I'm used to having the separate audio tracks so you can kind of get rid of somebody else's, dog barking in the background or whatever, and it doesn't ruin the whole track. But also, we ended up deciding that done is better than perfect at this point, and we just need to like do it and that it might not be perfect. And we ended up discovering that Zoom is doing a great job of like filtering out background noise too. Her dog, I think I told you her dog was barking in the middle of one of the recordings that we were doing, and you couldn't even hear the dog. I kept saying shit like, this is going to suck. Oh my God. And then we go listen to it back and you can't even hear the dog. I was like,
yeah.
holy
Well,
shit.
I was kind of wondering about that when I heard that like buzz in my headset. I was like, how long do I let this go? She's talking. Maybe it's
Maybe
just
you won't even
here.
hear it.
Maybe I won't even hear it. And then I do one stupid thing, I turn it off, and then everything went all fucking
Haywire.
wonky.
Oh, I'm curious. My dog came in and barked also. So I'm curious to see if you'll hear that on the recording, but I don't
I
know.
don't think I heard it. I mean, I've got echo cancellation on, and of course mine turned off during this whole glitchy thing, so now there's probably an echo, but they've got a lot of tools built in where you can select a track, you can select a section of a track, and you can fix the audio in just that one part. But I don't really know how to use it all just yet.
I told you I found that company Alphonic,
Yes,
and their like auto master AI mastering is so good. It like removes all the background noise. It removed all of Christmas's plosives. She was so mad at herself because we listened to it back and she kept going, she's making like the
I think I
smacking
was just
sound
doing that.
with her mouth, and she's like, oh my God, that's so horrible. And it completely removed it once we ran it through Alphonic. I was really impressed.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, like you said, done is better than perfect. And I'm just doing it and I'm talking about whatever I want to talk about with whoever I want to talk about. And if it dips into business, it does. If it stays on golf for 2 hours, then it's on golf. Like it's a golf episode. I don't
Don't let
care.
me do that to you.
No, well, I mean, here's the reality though, and I was dipping into it. I I'm trying to have this client extend with me for another year. This is not to beat my own chest, but we did a really good job in the first year
Good.
for
Good for
them.
you.
Huge ROI, like it's case study material. And I'm getting a little bit concerned because basically we were tasked with generating leads for them. They needed leads. They needed to bring in some new people, new blood, and we did that for them. And they have huge ROI, but the leads are starting to taper off. Granted, we're in July. It's peak season. People are already settled into where they're at. Um, they're not really signing up for new clubs right now. And this club isn't the cheapest club, right? It's already a private club. It's been here for 50 years or something like that. So, long-standing club, relatively high price point. Bringing or somebody jumping on at this point is rough for them. But what I'm thinking about is like, well, you're in the scene. They want to bring in more women. What do I say to women to try to like coax them in? Or I mean, I'm not literally asking you that question right now, but I'm thinking to myself, what is something that I can do over this fall and winter and have them come in next spring. And I don't know what the answer is, but I know that they want some more women in the club. And they have women in the club right now, and most of them are the let me back out of that a little bit. Most of the members are lifelong private club golf members, right? There's a whole scene that I didn't know about. Like people grew up in private clubs, in the houses, the communities around there, or their families. It's like the yacht club, right? I grew up in the yacht club. And so you've got these old ladies who sit in there and crochet and play chess and play checkers. And it's like, great. How do we bring in the new generation of people? What do they want? What do they need? What do they care about? Is it just kind of tagging along with their spouse? Or is it, I just, I see a lot of women playing this and I want to get into it. Where does that kind of fall? And so I
I
want to
can
get back
only
into golf and ask you golf questions.
I mean, I can only speak from my own experience, and I'm a novice. I'll be a novice for years, right? But for me, if like I wanted to play more golf, Jeremy has the 9 to 5 job. I have more flexibility. So if I have to work, I can move my schedule around so that Wednesdays are open for golf league, right? I think that that's probably not typical. Um, I've struggled. I want to play more. So I think making it accessible for women. I could go sign up for a tea time anytime I want, right? But I'm probably going to get paired with a bunch of dudes. And I don't want to play golf with a bunch of random dudes. One,
Hit the
because I'm
bros.
married and I don't think my husband would probably appreciate that very much. Um, I don't want to hang out with a bunch of random dudes that are probably broy, probably way better than I am, and probably don't want to fuck around with waiting for me. It's not accessible. It's not an accessible sport for women in a lot of ways, partly
Okay.
because it's mostly men and not all of us want to go hang out with a bunch of dudes. No offense to the dudes, but it's just not what I'm all about right now. I don't mind being and Jeremy and I get paired up with random people all the time, and that's fine because Jeremy and I are out there playing together. But if I go play by it's not easy to go golf by yourself as a woman. You have to have a bunch of people to go with, or you just go to the driving range and hit balls. And even then,
So what makes it accessible to women?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Like ladies leagues. I mean, I will say the ladies league, I joined it. It's not ideal because I have to wear a collar. I think that's kind of bullshit. If Tiger Woods can, I mean, not that I'm Tiger Woods, but
Uh, uh,
if he can wear like, I think it was the US Open that year he wore that red Nike t-shirt. Why can't I wear like an athletic tank instead of a stupid collared shirt? That is not the jam. That is not the vibe that I'm going for. But it's the rules at the club, and you got to wear a stupid. It's antiquated. The rules at the club that I play at even state that you're supposed to have like knee length shorts or a knee length skirt. That ain't happening. Haven't seen anybody try to enforce that yet. Um, but it needs to like evolve. The sport needs to evolve. And I'm saying this as somebody who's new to the sport, who finds it intimidating because of all the rules and because it's a little bit snotty. Some
yeah.
people are very snobby about their golf, and it
Well,
should be more fun. It should be more accessible.
golf is a snobby sport, right? It's always been like that. It's kind of always been like the wealthy of the wealthy play golf. And that's why those rules are in place. I don't think that I can shift the entire culture of golf um, to bring in more ladies into this club But we
I'm
have talked
probably
a
not
lot.
your I'm not your target demographic probably for that club either, because like that's the kind of club that my cousin's husband would join. He just joined a private club out in
Yeah.
Santa Rosa area where he lives, and it was like a $25,000 buy-in and then $500 a month or something like that.
Yeah. That's close to
And
what this is.
he's a good golfer, and he goes to Wind Down Wednesdays and hangs out with all the bros, and sometimes Christmas goes with him, but
Yeah.
he's he it's it is definitely like a male dominated sport, and it makes it
Sure.
difficult for women to get
But
into it.
to kind of piggyback on what you said, that you're not the target audience, it's not true because you are a female golfer and you love the sport and you're passionate about it. Who else is going to join a club other than that person, right? I mean, sure, there's the exclusivity of the club and you have to evaluate, do I have the funds to pay for something like that, or is that what I want? But if you are already somebody of means and you wanted to get into golf, like the mentality that you have is the exact same as that person. They just maybe have more cash to throw at it or something like that. So the point is, like, how do these people bring in women golfers?
I think
I
it would have to be motivated by community, because I could join. I'm not a member of the club that I play at the league with, or at play with the league at. I'm not a member. I could join, but I also don't like, I get that community for less money. I have to pay when I golf still. It's not free, but I get a discount because I'm part of the league. But I also don't want to play at that club every time I golf. I want to go to the
Right.
little
So
I
you
want to
like a
go to,
little variety.
yeah, like I'm going to Truckee tomorrow to play at this little 9-hole course that my friends love, and they might not want to go to. If I want to play with my friends who, you know, aren't members of the club, then I got to go other places. So it doesn't make sense for me to commit to one course. I don't know.
No, I mean that makes sense. And the community part is something that these guys talk about. Uh, it's just now how do you open that community up to a completely different sex and a different demographic, right? That's the hard part. And I don't know. I mean, the best that I can do at this point for what I'm getting paid to do is put the message out there that you are welcome here and this thing is also for you. But yeah, it sounds like it's very much
I mean, I've even thought of creating an app. I mean, recently I've thought of creating like a ladies golf app where you can like find your friends, find people to golf with.
yeah,
Um, I think some of them, I did some research, and there are some apps. It's like a dating app, right? But it's for finding golf partners. And there's only a couple of them that let you toggle on whether you're looking for female partners or not. Um, so I think for people who want to play more and get better at it, or just play more and have more opportunity to play, that's the big barrier for me, is not having enough
opportunity to play.
not having enough women to play with.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. Cool. Well, thanks for
I
that
mean, maybe
insight.
they should have like Women Wednesdays, where Wednesday evenings it's ladies' tea times only or something, but I don't know. That'd probably piss some people off.
They do have some events and things like that. Um, it's more about the attractant. What's the attractant for somebody? You know, what do I say to them that they want to try to pierce that veil of the idea of an all men's golf club? Don't get me wrong, this place isn't saying that we're an all men's golf club. They're just trying to figure out ways to bring the women in.
Well,
And
yeah,
I
it's a
think,
giant untapped market.
yeah, for sure. But again, it goes back to how are you going to shift the entire culture of a sport to include um
Well,
that's the overall hard part.
they could not make women wear collared shirts for one.
I think they shouldn't make anybody wear anything. That for me is always
That
I
it
don't
just
I
it
don't want to
rubs me
join
the
your cool
wrong
kids club.
way. It just rubs me the wrong way. Not only because I didn't own any collared shirts, I had to go buy collared shirts, which is just fucking annoying because I'm never gonna wear them anywhere other than the course, and they're not cute.
And that
I
well,
don't look cute when I'm wearing my golf gear.
here's a piece of advice for all the dudes out there that wear golf shirts. It's not a good look either. like in public, you know, the
Oh,
guy that you're like,
you're
oh,
wearing one
there's
right now.
this is a St. John's Bay.
You're wearing a polo shirt right now.
Well, polo is not golf. This is, no, I'm kidding. This is a thrift store find. Um, I mean a golf shirt, not just a collared shirt, because I wear collared shirts all the time. Well, now I wear linen because my wife turned me on to linen, and I'm like, oh, this
Oh
is
my
pretty. Oh
God,
yeah,
Kevin.
linen shirt daddy over here. It's a mess. Not
Wow.
just black Costco t-shirts anymore. But my point is, everybody knows the golf dude who is going to play golf or just came off the golf course and he wears the golf shirt. And then when somebody dies, they wear the golf shirt to the funeral because that's their only nice shirt. Like we all know these guys. This is the golf bro that we're talking about here. We see him everywhere. So all I'm saying is the suggestion to them,
Yeah.
just just don't.
Just
Maybe don't.
listen
Yeah,
up that rule. Like let's evolve past that rule. It's kind of an arbitrary rule anyway. Why do we have to wear a collar? I mean, I know there and I guess they could argue, well, go to the municipal course where there's no rules.
sure.
Because that little we play Black Oak all the time. It's a 9-hole course here in Auburn and we love it. It's great. And there's no rules. You could wear your
Yeah.
bikini in golf if you wanted to.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. Golf has always been a weird one, and I just remember being a kid in Rockland playing at Lost uh what was it? Lost Creek? Yeah, Lost Creek. Um am I saying that right?
Indian Creek?
Indian Creek.
Yeah,
Brain fart. Um Playing there, and I just remember being like, there's no rules here. Like you can kind
yeah.
of do whatever you want.
They don't
And
care.
then so growing up and then being invited to like nicer courses and going and playing up in the new part of Rockland, I was like, oh, I don't like these people. I don't like this game anymore.
Yeah.
So
It's and that's part of the problem with the sport, I think, is that it comes across very exclusive. If you don't have all the right clothes and all the right gear and you know, I don't know. I get it, but also like let's not be so snobby about it.
yeah, it's just the reality is that's what they want. Those clubs want that exclusivity. I won't get into some of the politics that I've learned about it either,
Hmm.
but they might pretend that they want a little bit of inclusivity, but they don't.
Hmm.
They don't want it. It's not there. It's not going to happen.
Well, it's surprising that they even want to attract more females because it does seem like a very much old boys club as a
Yeah.
sport anyway. And they don't really want the ladies. Like, they don't really, I feel like they don't really care if we actually feel comfortable because they don't really care if we're there or not.
Setting my client aside and any of their things because they don't necessarily fit the mold, but the culture of the sport as a whole, they just don't. They don't give a shit. They don't want anyone, they don't even want somebody who looks like them to join the club. They only want the people who they know in the club. Like it's that tight knit. So they're not even like sexist or racist. It's not about the pigment of your skin. They're like, I don't know you, so I don't want you here. Like that's how narrow that stuff is. It's
Yeah,
really weird.
that's weird.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of bums me out because there's a club up in Truckee that I want to play. It's like a par three. It's called Lahontan, but as far as I can tell, it's private. You have to be a member or you have to be invited by a member. And that's just, I mean, that's a bummer.
Well, hey, it's America. You don't have to golf there. We don't have to be friends with them.
I guess not. But
Fuck
I want
those
to play a
people.
par three course. There's
Yeah.
no good ones around here.
Really?
No, there's none. That's the only one around the area that I can find.
There's got to be a lot of courses around there. Like
Probably,
especially with the growth of all that stuff out in Lincoln and
you'd
how
think.
Rockland Roseville grew together. Like, I don't know.
You'd think. I mean, there's golf courses galore, just not like a par three course. Anyway,
That's interesting. Well, shit.
it's not where I thought I'd find myself at this age. I did not think I would pick up the sport and enjoy it as much as I am. It's kind of I think annoying my husband a little bit.
Well, especially if he's not like super into it and you are, then I could see how it's like, eh. All
If
right, let's golf
he
again.
if he could hit straight, he'd be way more into it. But he gets so mad. I think I told you we ended up he got so mad he threw his driver in a tree at the last time we played down in Lincoln. And
Yeah,
then he had to throw another club up there to try to get it down, and that one got stuck. And then another one, and we ended up with 4 clubs up in this, like 20 feet up in this oak tree,
so good.
until the guy finally came behind us. Like, we took so fucking long that he finally came up to us and he was like, "Everything okay?" And he had a ball retriever, and Jeremy was able to stand up on the cart with the ball retriever and like snag the handle and yank them all down. But it was like
It's
temper
a
tantrum
it's just a
led.
10 cup moment, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just lay
Yeah.
up.
Just lay up. Nope.
Nope, nope.
Snap all of his clubs. Yeah.
Yep.
Um, so what about like outside of golf and all of that and Parker being not even a teenager anymore, a grown
Basically an
adult?
adult. So
Um,
weird.
I don't think I have a grasp on what you do in terms of a career. I know that you're podcasting, I know that you're doing stuff, but are you still doing any copywriting and
No, God, no.
selling all of that
I
stuff?
got out
No.
of marketing. I had a really weird like 2020 where I was sort of I had fallen out of love with marketing, but I didn't really want to admit it because I had built this like consultancy, and I was making money and I was profitable, and I was doing marketing and consulting around content marketing, and I hated it, but I didn't like really verbalize that yet. I hadn't really verbalized that yet, and I didn't really know what else to do. So I sort of shifted into SEO consulting for a little while. And I had this business coach that was trying to convince me to just go hard on the SEO consulting because you could make a lot of money doing it. But I hate it.
Hmm.
I just fucking hate it.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, this is why I do a lot of, so now to answer your question, I host online communities, like paid membership communities, and some of them are like mastermind style communities. But I also do strengths coaching. I'm a Clifton strengths coach, so
Hmm.
I do leadership coaching with women entrepreneurs, and I love the Clifton strengths because it when I took it in 2020, when I was trying to figure out, I was like, okay, clearly I'm not on the right path here. I don't know what to do with my career or my life, but this ain't it. I'm miserable, and I felt like I wasn't even really that good at it. But you learn to do something, and you kind of like you take a job in an agency, and then you learn to do all the things in the agency, and then pretty soon, sure, yeah, I can do analytics, I can do Facebook ads, I mean, I was pretty good at writing. So when I started in marketing, I was doing a lot of content writing. I did fitness content writing specifically, and I was really good at it. But I fell out of love with that, and you know, I'm not built to deliver things to people. Like, a service-based business is not great for me, mostly just because of my personality, and I'm when I did my Clifton Strengths, and I realized that I had zero execution skills in my top 10. I'm all like I'm all big picture strategy, like connectedness is my number one, very people oriented. But not a lot of I'm not one of those people who loves to have a list and loves to check things off my list. That's not me. So
Yeah.
it helped me understand a lot of why I struggled with that type of business before, with like the service-based business where you are doing the same thing on retainer every month for this person and delivering things on a timeline, and just solving problems all the time. It wasn't a great fit for me. So now I really enjoy what I'm doing now, and I love bringing women together, and I get to introduce all kinds of incredible people to each other, and I like yeah, I like it.
I'm interested in that thing because I'm starting to dabble in activities outside of marketing and branding and brand. And I've joined a couple of communities and I get that the quick, easy cash grab is like build a quick community, sell a course, sell some digital products, make a bunch of money, and then be forgotten at some point in time. And that's not what you're doing, but I'm like starting to dabble in that. What does this stuff look like and how are people doing it? And if I were to go in that direction, how could I do it not in this gross way that people are
Yeah.
doing it? But the reality is what can I offer? I've got I don't know. I've said a different number. 10 years, 12 years, 15 years worth of experience and knowledge in my head of the industry and clients and um, consumers, all of that stuff. But I can't sit down and make a product that I would feel is valuable to those types of people. Maybe I could if I was like, well, you just have to do this, 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 and this, and I don't give them any explanation about the nuances of those five topics. But it seems like you're kind of in this niche. I guess where I was going with it, I don't know how to be a coach. I don't know how to be a consultant. I don't know how to do any of those things. So building a community for myself and then selling something through that seems really, really challenging. Um, and then on top of that, you still have to use your marketing skills to grow your own community. So you're still kind of doing it all. You're just maybe doing it for yourself at
It
that point.
feels different marketing for yourself. And the way that Ravel has grown, Ravel's the name of the community, and it's a community of women entrepreneurs. It's grown very organically. It's been a really slow referral based growth, which is how I prefer. Like, I'm much better at relationship marketing, and you know, two of the 100 members came in through a podcast that I did. They heard me on a podcast and they came into the community that way. Every single other person was either someone I met personally and invited to join us, or was referred by a member who existed already. And I'm not selling anything in there. I'm not selling coaching services in there. um, I do end up coaching some of the women because we end up in a relationship where they're like, I really need to learn. I need to figure out what's wrong with, I'm not enjoying my business. Something's wrong here. And I'll be like, well, let's do your Clifton strengths. Let's see what's going on here. So I do end up working in that capacity, but I didn't build a product and create a community to sell because I had all this knowledge. I created a space. I look at it this way. I'm holding space in a very specific shape, and people pay to access that. There are other people in there. They want access to the women. They want access to the community. At first, I thought it was really mostly the referrals that they were in there for, but it turns out women entrepreneurs feel really lonely, and we feel
Hmm.
like we're very isolated and we don't have a lot of community. So I created the community very intentionally based on my core values, like freedom and authenticity and connection and inclusivity. And we're all really very much alike. We all share some of these core values together, kindness, and it serves people pay for things other than products and courses. They pay for access to a community, to a space. And all I really do is hold the space. I facilitate. So in the masterminds, I participate in the masterminds, but I do I do some coaching in there, but it's not in an official capacity. I'm showing up to these mastermind calls to hold space, and everybody shows up and I facilitate the mastermind. I keep time and I make sure that everybody's getting their fair chance to talk and everything like that. And I just kind of I hold the vibe. I'm the vibe checker to
Hmm.
make sure that everybody's having a good time and um, getting what they need and getting connected with each other. So a lot of what I do is, you know who you should know. You got to meet this person here, connect with them. I make an email introduction. So
Yeah.
and that kind of led to me wanting to build this app that I'm building called Maven Match, which should be out in August. I've had lots of slowdowns and struggles building this tool, but it's a networking tool for women entrepreneurs because there are a lot of these little small communities out there. And some of them are coaching communities and some of them are networking communities, and they all serve a little bit of a different purpose, right? But we can't all be in all the communities. So it does limit our ability to meet new people. So my kind of a plan was, let me put this app together and I'll take what I know about how people connect with each other, not just from psychology, but like personality and core values. And we'll put this app together that will pair people with each other so that they can meet women from other communities that don't necessarily belong in the communities that they're in, but they can still connect with each other. So that's
Have to know, do they have to know everything about their personality types and their Clifton, or
No,
do they get
they can
that once
upload
they
their
get in?
Clifton. So there's a lot of AI built into it, right? So you can upload your Clifton. You can tell the tool what your Myers Briggs is, and that'll take that into consideration. But I also built in like the ocean temperament test, because there's a correlation between core values and your temperament. And so it's matching people based on core values, but also whether or not you're a good referral partner. Like, are you a complimentary service provider to somebody? It's taking into consideration what you do, who you do it for. And then like, so if you're a marketer who serves attorneys, and there's a bookkeeper who also primarily serves attorneys or like law offices, that's going to make you guys really good referral partners. So if your core values are aligned enough that you would get along really well easily, we're going to pair you together so that you can get to know each other, because really everybody's busy. Nobody wants to stop and take the time to make an introduction or refer somebody business unless they like them. You have to like somebody to want to refer them business.
100%.
So at the very base of that relationship has to be like this sort of affinity for one another, right? And then you just happen to have an opportunity to refer one another. Look, Melissa, our mutual friend Melissa, she and I
Yeah.
have referred business back and forth because we're friends and we happen to work in the same industry, and we had a lot of opportunity to do that. But at the end of the day, we really like each other too, and we want the other person to win.
That's cool. I mean, there's a lot there's a lot going on in there. I do like the idea that you're creating this place not for the purpose to pump people through the funnel and have them buy your digital products. You kind of open up that space, you allow them to connect and talk and bullshit, and then as a whole, put on an event. And then you aren't doing anything in that event. I'm not saying that as a slight. I'm saying that like you're not hosting it. I don't have this workshop, follow these 5 steps, and then I'm on the hook for the outcomes of what you take away from this or what you do in your business. And that's the part that I can't build a product good enough to promise these types of
Right.
outcomes or be on the hook for that. It's part of the reason that I'm struggling in the creative space that I'm in right now. And I deal with this in sales calls all the time. Just had one a couple of weeks ago where, I asked for a lot of money to basically do strategy up front. And that was not only for them, but it was for me to be able to do my job effectively. And they were like, you want me to spend a bunch of money up front and then do something down the line with you that's going to cost more money to do. And I was like, that's exactly right. But they said, can you tell me what an ROI would look like? And I had just done an ROI exercise for another client, right? That the golf course, the golf club. And so I had an ROI number in my head, but it's so high that I couldn't say that without them being like, that's total bullshit. That's not even real. Or having them think that that's what they could expect from our engagement. It's like, no, we have to understand that I can have an ROI like that with a company who works well with me, who their product or services are in demand, people want them, and you show up at the right place at the right time. Like there's a lot of factors that have to happen for an ROI. And so it's just this internal struggle. Basically, I told the guy, I can't guarantee an ROI. I never will. And if anybody else does, they're lying to you, and you should run as fast as you can from them. And he ultimately didn't hire me, which is fine. Uh, that's what the fit check is there for. But I'm just saying that I struggle with that in this line of work because it's so weird and fluffy and nuanced. And I've worked with 100 people over the last 10 years. And I can't tell you how many of them actually got an ROI from working with me. And that's a
I know
personal
it's so.
struggle that it
Oh,
hurts my freaking soul. Um, but was it my fault? No. Was it their fault? Maybe. I don't know if it was their fault. It could have just been the product or the service in the community and they didn't like it. But it doesn't mean that you had a bad business or I did bad creative. It doesn't mean any of that stuff. So it's that same sticky point that you are talking about that led you to where you're at with your communities. And I like how you have structured that, thinking in a long term way, where if I just allow these folks to come in. They can pay for access for it. There is this space in here that we can all kind of talk and figure it out and refer and run through these masterminds where there's no center of attention. There's no guru at the top of that. I really like that you're doing. And I remember when you first started it, it didn't feel that way. I remember getting an invite and I was like, nope, I'm not.
No, that was a different community.
Got it.
That was a different
Well,
community.
I remember that community and I
Yeah,
remember being like, nope, not gonna play in this sandbox.
Ravel was
And
already going, and that was the was it the Quantum Collective? I don't know. I created another one that was trying to pair, that tried to pair like agencies with contractors in the marketing space, because they would be vetted and you kind of knew who you were dealing with, and you could hire a contractor to do something but not necessarily have to hire them for in your agency in-house. You get specialists. And
yeah,
that didn't work out. I've experimented with a ton of stuff. I tried to do retreats last year a couple of times. It's everything's always an experiment and it's always a moving target. But with Ravel, the the promise is not a product, it's not an outcome necessarily, other than you get to come into this safe space and I'm vetting all these women. This is a safe space where everybody's already been vetted. So in a way, I was able to find out what I do really well and create a community around that. And I'm good at creating spaces that make people feel safe. Like Jeremy always tells me that my superpower is that people just tell me shit. And I think
it's
it's
true. I've
annoying.
told you shit.
Sometimes it's annoying because people are crying all the time or they're telling me stuff they wouldn't tell their therapist. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how did I get here? But I think it's because I don't know, for some reason, people feel comfortable telling me stuff. And so that must mean that they feel safe. And so in this space, in this Ravel community, it's a closed community. It's not open to just anybody. You have to apply. You have to get through me to get in. And so that makes it a little bit exclusive, but also you don't have to be, the criteria is just don't be an asshole. And
Yeah,
so we've never had any problems with like people being jerks to one another. I don't have to moderate anything. I don't even really have to create any content in there because the women create their own content, and they're in there asking each other questions and having conversations and sharing things about their lives. And so it's a different concept than selling something like a tangible course.
cool.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
more like sharing
And is
just a
there a
space.
monthly fee to be in the
Yeah,
community?
it's a monthly or a yearly and then the masterminds cost more. Those are a higher price.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah, I mean,
I think it's really cool. I honestly wasn't sure what you were doing. I didn't know if you were still kind of writing on the side or doing SEO or blogs or anything like that. I kind of didn't know that you were full time on that thing.
yeah,
But again, it's been a couple years since we've like really dove into these
yeah.
things.
I completely lost my ability to write. I don't know if it's perimenopause or if my ADHD is just off the charts, but I used to be able to sit down and write a blog post in like 30 minutes and have it be amazing. And now I sit down and I would so much rather talk to people than write anymore.
Yeah, I understand that. I used to be able to switch between websites and marketing campaigns and SEO and all of that sort of stuff. And now I sat down last week to start a website design, and I was like, wait, how do I do this? Like I think it just comes with burnout. You just lose everything. I still know all the technical terms. I still know how to do this stuff technically. It just takes a lot longer for me to kind of get going. And,
So
burnout hit for me. And unfortunately, rather than making a good shift like you did, I'm kind of still in the zone that I'm in right now. And again, that's fine, but it's just I'm exploring concepts on how I can get out of that and just go back to talking like
it's
we're
been
doing here.
messy. It's been really messy for me, and it's been slow, real slow. And I don't even know if I've ended up where I need to be. Like I said, I'm getting ready to launch this app. I hope that it's something that works out. I hope that I enjoy it, you know, running that part of a company that has I mean, I'm not a coder. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So there's going to be some investment there too. I don't know. I still don't know what I'm doing most of the time. Right. But what I'm hearing you say is that you're in this messy middle right now too, where you're burned out on marketing and you don't want to do this anymore. But then the question becomes, what do I do?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much I told you in our last chat, but when I had Mabel, when Marshall had Mabel, um, when I went like, patted her on the back and was like, "Great work, mom." Um, when all of that happened, my testosterone tanked,
Oh, I didn't know that.
like tanked. And there was probably a lot of reasons. The end of 23, we closed down Hound as an
Yeah.
agency. We roll into 24. Mabel's born January 8th. 6 months after she was born, I slipped on the stairs. Did I tell you this story?
Yeah. This is
Slipped on the stairs. She busted her head. She had surgery. She's great. She's fine.
so
But I
scary.
wasn't. But I wasn't working. Um, Sort of went back into work as the year went on, but it was more like I'm open to taking a website job now. I just closed down my agency. I'm doing websites again. So basically, what I'm saying is I was lost
Yeah.
in that whole process. The stress was through the roof. My testosterone tanked into the hundreds, down from some men at my age are anywhere from 400 or 500 up to like 700. But I was at like a 75-year-old's level of testosterone.
Wow.
And what happened with that was a lot of brain fog, and I was getting sick often, like twice a month I would get sick, whether it was a cold or a flu, a stomach bug. I went from a stomach bug to presumably COVID to pneumonia, and
Jesus.
it was like a 6 or 7 week span of me not leaving the bed at all, and I never really recovered from that. There was just so much brain fog, and my body was in pain. It would ache, and I was still trying to work out through this, and I couldn't recover from the workouts, and I wasn't getting any sort of gains in that zone, in that department. So I've been lost and confused. And there was some clarity coming into 25. That's why I launched this, my personal brand, and fell back into the routine of the agency, which felt really nice, doing very productive work, wonderful clients. You're still dealing with some of the client problems that any
Come with the
marketer
territory.
comes with the territory. Um, but the entire time, I've just told myself, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to build another stupid website. Like, you don't even know what to put on your damn website. Why do I have to come up with this for you and then have you bitch at me about it? Um,
It's so true.
all the things that happen in agency life, but I've just been slowly exploring it. And I think I mentioned to you, my short-term goal with this podcast is sharpening those tools again, getting back to that point that I was right before all of this happened, when the agency was at its peak and we were selling six-figure projects. Like, that was fun. The problem at that time was, as much fun as it was, I was still doing a lot of the work. And it was selling, it was project management, it was creative and strategy, and then managing the team members. So when I started kevinmooney.com, I thought this will be great because I can do it myself and I don't have to rely on anybody else over here to do it. I'm just going to do it. Here I am doing sales and strategy and project management all over again, dealing with
Yep.
the same problems. And I just can't get out of this gross cycle that I'm in. I'm done. So doing this is to sharpen the skills and then hopefully figure out whether it's a community or maybe I'm really good at making content. Maybe people really like hearing what I have to say, and I can get back to this thing that feels really natural to me. You know my Clifton strengths, you know my personality type, you know maybe something about my human design. And You combine all of those and you look at them. This is what I do the best. It's just talk and free flow and go, and there's tidbits and there's insights. That's where I want to be. But I also don't know if anyone wants to listen or pay me for anything. But I'm inspired by the thing that you've done in just giving it a little bit of space and not kind of going direct to that sale. I don't want to do that.
Thank you. It's, I think, I think there's a little bit of pressure to always have a plan and to know where you're going. And that is harmful, I think, especially in the middle of our lives where we don't really know where we need to go sometimes. And like if you like you doing right now, giving yourself some space to play, to do something that you know you love having conversations with people. You know you have something valuable to contribute to the conversation. So just put it out there in the world and see what happens. It could
Yeah,
blow up. Or if not, maybe you'll talk to somebody who helps you get an epiphany and figure out what you should be doing. Have you have you
100%.
have you asked ChatGPT what you should do with your life based on your human design and your
Probably I should open up a
you
tab and
should
see what it says.
you should do it. I've just with Clifton Strengths, I've thrown some of my clients Clifton Strengths in there and been like, hey, here's the situation. She's been doing this. She's miserable. Here's her Clifton Strengths. What should she be doing based on her strengths? And the answer's in there somewhere. It's just like you got to figure out which way you want to aim it, right? Like I think too, at this point in my life, it's important to me to do something purposeful and meaningful. Like I want to be moving toward something better in the world. I want to do something that makes the world better than it used to be. Maybe it's a legacy thing. Maybe it's me getting old and wanting to leave my mark on the world or something. But I remember a lot of times when I was working in marketing, just feeling like how is selling sorority merch making the world a better place? Like, how am I contributing? And you end up with clients that you're getting paid to help them sell a product that maybe you don't even believe in, or that is even sus a little bit. Although I guess I'm not allowed to say sus anymore. My son informed me that sus is out. I'm not supposed to say that anyway. It's
Sus
cringe.
is done.
It's
All right.
cringe.
It's cringe.
But you,
Yeah, it's a whole new language. I don't
I'm
know
so
yet.
off. I'm so off the back.
See, that's another reason that I have to get out of marketing because I can't keep up with the generations as they
Generations.
go, right? And the really good marketers of the world, they have their fingers on the pulse of that stuff. I don't. I
Part
don't
of the
have it
problem
there.
with marketing too is I'm tired of being sold to. And
Yeah.
it's a disconnect when I'm tired of social media in my face all the time. I'm tired of the pressure. That was one of the biggest problems I was having with the marketing thing, was that I hate social media. I don't want to post. I don't want to, like, when Jeremy and I went on our anniversary trip, we said, yeah, well, let's take some pictures. Let's take lots of pictures and we can post about it on social and stuff. Neither one of us posted a single thing on Instagram about. We just left for the week and nobody knew what we were doing.
Isn't
And I
that
was
great?
like, yeah, I was like, why should I have to post? Like I know I'm having a great anniversary trip. Why does everybody
Right.
else need to know that I'm having a great anniversary trip?
And yeah, I've always there's a lot of words in marketing, a lot of buzzwords, a lot of words that people say, and I'm pretty allergic to them. They drive me nuts. And one of those, not trying to offend you, is like purpose driven anything. Just like, yeah, heard it, got it, check. You just want to kind of identify with other people who do purpose driven stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is, I'm going to share this story with you. It got me the most excited and the most happy that I've been in the last 5 years of doing the work that I do. And it just makes me think, oh, I actually am a purpose driven marketer. Um, so as much as I hate it, I probably am that. The
Get that though.
the quick story is I have a DPC doctor, direct primary care. Are you familiar with that?
I've never heard the term before. I know what a primary care physician is, but
Right. So DPC is direct primary care. It's basically a membership based
yeah, okay.
medical practice, right?
Yep.
And so you pay in as a member and you get access to the physicians. And I joined 4 or 5 years ago. And it's just kind of a real small local practice. And she brought me in 9 months ago to to do a small side project for her. I just kind of kept at her a little bit, and I was like, "Hey, I want to be a part of the bigger picture here." And long story short, I sold her on a fractional CMO role. So I have a really nice base, and she's trusting me to revamp her company from the ground up, digitally and physically. So we ran brand strategy, and I went through some messaging exercises and target audience and all of that fun stuff. Yesterday, I presented her new brand identity to her, and her assistant cried during the presentation. And I was super emotional. Maybe it has something to do with the supplements that I'm taking to bring my testosterone up, but I also got very emotional, and I was on a high all day yesterday. And all through the evening, came home, told Marshall about it. She got emotional about it. She saw me making the logo, and she was like, "Oh, this is so perfect and so great for them." And I tied it together in a really nice brand story and made it long-term focus so that this is something you can hand to your kids. And she very emotional. And I just thought to myself, this is the only engagement that I ever want again in this marketing zone. I don't want another client who wants me to just sell pickleball rackets. I don't want to do that. I don't care about pickleball, and I don't care about your rackets. This is something that's really cool and really meaningful. And I guess I'm a purpose driven marketer at
You're,
this point.
I hate to tell you, Kevin, but I think you're purpose driven. I think it's more like, and maybe it's not even purpose driven. Maybe it's just values driven. Like you care about that company and you're obviously really aligned and you believe in what they're doing. And it feels really good to get behind a company and contribute to its success when you feel really invested in the company, right? And the people. So you're aligned really well with that company. It's not even like, don't be embarrassed by that.
No, I
That's
don't think I'm
fantastic.
embarrassed. It's just something I've never said out loud, right? Because I always scoff at these buzzwords like, "Oh my God, you're this, you're that, whatever, who cares? Just go back to work." Has always like been my mentality.
You're softening with age. I love it.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Uh, I think the biggest thing with that engagement is the transparency
Hmm.
from the beginning. This is her practice. She started it, she owns it, she runs it. She's 100% owner. She's just been transparent through this entire thing. I'll ask her for this amount of money. She'll say, I don't have that much money. Can you take this money? Yes, I'll take that money. Um, can you do this? No, I cannot do this. She's like, okay, how about this? Right? It's just the right level of transparent engagements that I'm looking for. And there's other clients that I have currently right now that you find out 6 months down the road who really is pulling the strings.
Hmm.
When you had these conversations up front, like, hey, I don't deal with boards. I'm not going to deal with them. They're not going to come in and push me around and tell me what to do. Oh yeah, that's not a problem. And then 6 months down the road, well, the board would like to see this, and you're like, so you were lying to me. So the transparency was not there. I just I realized that transparency, again, one of those buzzwords, is something that is just required, and you have to lay it all out on the line in order for us to really work together. When you say your budget is X, but it's really Y, like why are we playing this game? How could you expect anyone to have trust or produce quality work for you if you're like that? And
Well,
this isn't just in the creative space, right? It's in any part of our lives.
yeah.
I'm just in at transparency level 130, or I'm not, right? It's that full body yes or full body no
Yeah.
that people talk about.
Well, I think, you mentioned the word transparency. That's attached to a word that has a lot of people feel like the word authenticity is played out and is a buzzword. But one of the big things I did when I was having my meltdown in 2020 and 2021, and no, what do I do with my life, was I realized that I didn't I had never identified my core values. And I know that people also hate core values these days because it's so cliche to, lead with your core values. But honestly, if you've never sat down and really identified what drives you in the world, like what drives your behavior, it's your core values. It's like I realized I was trying to figure out like like what to do, and the values drive which direction for me to go. And one of my core values, as it turns out, is authenticity. But if you look at the actual meaning of authenticity, it's comprised of three things: transparency, vulnerability, and fuck, what's the third one?
Come on, Jamie, where
Vulnerability,
you at? Look it up, Jamie.
transparency, and oh god damn it. This is gonna fucking piss me off.
You gotta look it up now.
Now I gotta look it up. Um,
I
you
mean,
can
that's
cut this out.
interesting because I do hate the word authenticity. And I think the reason that I hate it is that everybody says it, but they don't know the meaning of it. And just like how you're doing it right now, you're kind of breaking it down, saying that it's not one thing. It's comprised of three
Integrity.
things. There you go.
Vulnerability, transparency, and integrity. And integrity doesn't mean you're it's not it's not the word integrity. We kind of take that to mean like morals, but integrity just means wholeness. Like you're coming with your whole person. You're not shaving off pieces of yourself to fit the situation. That's not authentic. If you're not being transparent, you're not being authentic. And if you're not being vulnerable enough to show everybody what's going on with you and to show up as yourself, that's not authentic either. So I think for me, like I spent a lot of time in marketing missing those components. Like working in marketing, you it sucks. You
Hmm.
have to shave off little bits of yourself, and you have to like it's manipulative. Marketing feels really manipulative sometimes.
Not just
So,
not just doing it, but being a part of it. I think for me, right? Like working with other marketing colleagues. You're just giving me what other people are doing, right? And you call yourself a marketer. You're not really authentic in what you do and the version that you do. I remember when we were trying to get something, we were working together, Hound and Cara Writes or something like that. And you were kind of giving us stuff, like examples of your work. And we're like, nope, 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 nope. And then one day you got fed up and you wrote us a letter.
yeah,
And we were like, that's the fucking letter that's exactly what we want. And I mean, you crush. I still think about that moment all the time. And I'm not saying that you're a bad person or a bad marketer or a bad copywriter. It was just like you kind of fell into a groove and you were just kind of giving what you thought we wanted. And it was a slice of you. It wasn't all of you until you hit that letter to us. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. It was
that
so
was
good.
funny.
Yeah.
That was
But
funny.
that's the thing is it's like,
But that's what it feels like when you're working in a space that you don't feel good in. You're like, you're trying to figure out what people want from you. What do you want from me? You can't just show up and give them what you are because
yeah,
they might not buy it. But that's what you have to do, right? Like when you're talking about bringing on clients, if you're going to keep doing this for a little while, you have to be just as picky as they are. You have to
yeah,
you have to come show up with your whole self and say, I only work with these kinds of clients that have transparency, that do something in a vein that I can respect, that I want to get behind. And if you don't fit all these criteria, I'm not working with you. I won't give you my talents.
yeah.
I don't care how
A-
much you pay me.
And I'm guilty because I've been hungry, right? Some point we got to keep the lights on.
Yep.
So you take shit that you don't really want to take. But to your point, I'm I have to do that moving forward. I've done pieces of that, but I haven't done all of that. And I think now is the time to start saying that type of stuff. I'm not working with anyone that doesn't do this, 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 and this, or says this, this, and this, or acts this way, or shows me that they're capable of these types of things because of the reason that I just shared about the DPC. That
Hmm.
that that person has just said, I have all of my trust in you. And I've been able to just have fun with it. And it made them cry. Like that's a wild testimonial right there. I made a client cry, not out of anger or sadness, like out of pure joy. That is a wonderful thing to achieve.
You know what
But
else that is? That's the kind of client that refers you to other clients. And
for
birds of a
sure,
feather flock together. So chances are, if she's referring you to somebody that she knows, they're probably a lot like her in some way.
yeah,
And you're going to
yeah.
enjoy working with them too.
But that's the stuff that I want if I'm gonna keep doing this, right?
Yeah.
I want that in my life. I need somebody to say, I'm gonna hire you and pay you your wages to have fun. And if someone wants to pay me to produce something, I have to say no because I don't like just producing things. Yes, I
Mhm.
produce things, but
It has to mean something.
and even set meaning aside, it has you have to allow me to have the freedom. The meaning will come. It will 100% come because if I believe in you and your product or your company and your services or whatever,
Hmm.
the meaning just kind of develops in itself. Sure, the meaning is always great up front, but then I'm going to snuff off 99.99% of the people
Yeah.
that I would work with. So I have to leave a little bit of a sliver, let the
Well, I
meaning
think,
kind of
I mean,
develop.
the biggest thing that you're saying is that you need to show up and work the way that you work best, which
Yeah.
is you have to, people have to trust you. When I was still doing a little bit of marketing, I had finally towards the end there, I started telling people, once I started figuring out what the problem was, I realized that I was most of the problem because I'll show up and I will change my mind. You could count on it.
Yeah.
You can count on, like, so I would finally, I would have to say to clients, okay, here's the deal. If we're going to enter into this retainer agreement, it may not be the same thing every month because I may get in there and realize that you need this next month instead of this. And so I don't work with clients who are really rigid and need like a plan for 6 months that we have to stick to because that's not going to work for me. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to gather information along the way and I'm going to come to different conclusions and we may have to change course.
Yeah.
And if I'm working with somebody who's really, plan oriented and really like, oh God, what's the temperament that, conscientious, really conscientious people like a plan and they like, let's stick to it. Let's finish it. Let's do what we say we're going to do. And that's not me. I'm, I'm taking information as we go. And if we need to pivot, I hate the word pivot too, but I'm going to say it.
Sure.
If we need
Fair.
to change tack, we're going to.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get it. I mean, to be honest with that golf club, I'm in the same situation. Uh, we made a plan, we stuck to that plan, but when it came down to the specific creative or the specific tactical implementation of that creative, I was like, no, we have to deviate. We have to kind of shift and pivot a little bit here. I don't think that that's the right message or the right style to put out there. And so when I did that shift, it was like it blew up. This
Awesome.
why is this no no, I mean blew up between us as a relationship.
Oh,
Like
it didn't
bad.
blow up like good. It blew up bad.
No. No, to be fair, they agreed to go with my new adjusted plan and it did blow up in a good
In a good
way,
way.
meaning they had more leads than they know what to do with. They almost said we need to stop and turn this thing off. But the relationship was like a little bit tarnished.
Yeah.
And I was getting a lot of pressure from higher ups being like, this isn't what we talked about. This isn't the plan. And I'm like, I understand that, but I have a feeling that it needs to go this direction, that whatever. And to their credit, they stuck with me. And so I do appreciate that. Um, the reality is that's how I operate all the time in my daily life, in my daily practice, everywhere that I go. If I drive home a different way, it's because I felt like I needed to go home a different way, and that's all right. So I can't be boxed in on these types of things. This is the only way that you're allowed to do it. And I think what happens for me, especially in the solo agency, solopreneur world, is that you wear so many hats when it comes time for a sales conversation. you forget all the shit that you talked about. You forget that you care the most about transparency and not being boxed in and telling people this. And you get into a sales call and you're like, what do you need? What's your problem? How do I do it? And then all these books behind me that I've read, what exactly to say when an objection shows up, or the win without pitching manifesto. I lose it all.
Well, it's hard too because I know, I don't know if you do this, but I get in a conversation like that and I love a good puzzle. I love to solve a problem and I know I can figure it out. Just give me enough time, I'll figure it out. So even if it's not the right puzzle that I should be solving, I want a chance to solve the puzzle. I can figure
Sure.
this out for you. Just give
Yeah.
me, give me a chance here. I can figure this out for you, even though maybe that's not the right fit.
Yeah. Uh, it's um it's a hard one. I don't know. I'm excited for this new chapter and doing these things and talking, and it's
You'll
just
figure it out.
it's a way to sharpen the skills and then talk to cool people. Like, entrepreneurs are super fun to talk to. I mean, you have shifted 37 times since I've known you.
Yep. Probably will
I've
do 37 more times.
Right, right.
Like right
And
now, I'm
and
trying to figure out how to get paid to play golf.
what's the first plan that you have for that? Tell me, what is it currently?
um, my girlfriend that I golf with a lot she's a compulsive poster. Like she is a content machine. And she's recorded, like, for the last 18 months, we have so much video of us golfing and just being stupid and dancing on the golf course. And like, I think it'd be really interesting to start like a TikTok account and to just post women centric golf content and talk about the fact that it's hard to find other females to play with. And um, our pickleball team name is Luck of the Balls, so we were going to maybe call it Luck of the Balls because that also works for golf.
Sure. Yeah.
But again, content creation is a lot of work, and I historically don't love publishing content myself. So, I mean, I have a TikTok account and I have one post on there that's my dog, and that's it. So,
Yeah, I mean, you think
I
about
also
it,
thought about starting a company, a clothing company for females,
we were
where
talking about this.
I was telling you that I was going to create like a okay, so when I talked to you, the idea was to have a convertible tank top that had a collar that you could detach once you got past the first tee. Like go into the pro shop, pay for your tee time with your nice little collar on so they don't kick you out. And then once you get out there, just fucking take it off.
Yeah.
But now I've decided I'm just going to create like a collar that you can stick inside any shirt, like multiple colors or whatever. And then you could just have your collar inside your shirt and then just take it off whenever you want.
Off to go.
Yep.
Love it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
I mean, these are all great ways to get paid to golf at the end of the day, right?
yeah, I don't think that anybody would actually buy that because I think it doesn't bother most people as much as it bothers me.
Why are we such assholes when it comes to things like this? We're just like stuck in our ways. I'm
Well,
not gonna wear a damn collar t-shirt, and then other people are like, just put the t-shirt on.
so there's an actual um, psychological thing that we have here. It used to be called um, persistent demand avoidance, PDA. It used to be called persistent demand avoidance, but now, and a lot of people with ADHD have this. Like, if I was going to do something and then you told me to do it, well, I'm not going to do it now because you told me to. But they've renamed it. It's a little kinder now, and they call it, by they I mean like the psychology people. They're calling it persistent desire for autonomy. And it's something my husband and I fight about a lot because even if I was planning on doing it already and I'm on my way out the door to go do it, as soon as he tells me he thinks I should do this or that I have to do something,
You
I'm
don't
like,
tell me
well,
what to
guess what I'm
do.
not doing now?
It
And
sounds a lot like me.
it's a terrible attitude to have, and I understand that. But I might even choose to wear a collar if they weren't telling me that I have to.
So is this a disease? Is this a, like, what
It's
is
a
this?
personality quirk, probably. It's a
Is
lot of
it has it grown? Is it something that people hear about and then develop on their own?
I think a lot of it has to do with your level of neurodiversity. Like a lot of real neurodiverse people have, like people who have autism and ADHD, they have a persistent demand avoidance. They have a persistent demand or desire for autonomy. Um, It's just a thing. It's a thing that people have. Some people have. I don't know where it comes from.
Wonder if I'm autistic.
It might be
Um,
everybody's a little bit.
yeah, let's be
Okay,
real. My wife
neurodiver.
likes to claim that. She's like, "Oh, it's my autism coming out." I'm like, "That's not fair. You're not allowed to say that. You can't take that from autistic people." But
She might be a little autistic. I mean,
right,
everybody. I'm probably a little bit autistic, and I think like I used to. You hear about the spectrum, and you think of it as a flat line, but I think it's more like the DISC assessment, where there's this big circle and there's this tiny dot in the middle that society wants us all to fit into. But the reality is that the moment you're born, everything in your environment is going to impact your neurology and your nervous system, whether you have trauma, big T trauma, or little T trauma, any kind of like sickness that you have that might impact your nervous system or your neurology, any kind of like brain damage or whatever. Like everything in your environment and every experience you have is changing your neurology and your nervous system from the moment you're born. So everybody is neurodiverse in that way. So there's this tiny little dot that society wants us all to fit into because it's really convenient for them. But if you look at it, we're all somewhere on this in this circle on
yeah,
one end or the other. I'm way closer probably to the ADHD side than the autism side, but I have things about me that you'd be like clothing things. Like if my clothing is uncomfortable, it's all I can think about.
yeah, I get that. It's funny. It's really funny. I've lived my life in this PDA way. My my folks have always said that I would do the opposite of what I was told to do or what society thinks that I should do or anyone who suggests anything to me. I literally go and run the opposite direction of that. And I early in my exploratory days of the Myers-Briggs personality types, I just thought that was a ENTP type of a thing. And I still do it to this day. It may not necessarily be super extreme where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go see my friends. And Marshall says, yeah, you should do that. I'm like, well, fuck you. Now I'm not going.
Yeah.
Right. It's not quite like that. But for instance, in this marketing world, all the gurus are talking about content, content. Content is king. That's been the saying for years. And you got to go do content. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm not doing content. And
That's where I was at with like Instagram and posting for my business. I was all, I'm not fucking doing it. Guess what I'm going to do instead? I'm going to be completely referral based because you're telling me I have to post all the time. Well, guess what I'm not going to do?
right. Watch me do it without doing what you say to do, and I'll still
Yep.
win.
Yep.
And I think there's some crazy fucked up things about that because it for the agency, it boxed us into doing nothing. We didn't advertise, we didn't market, we didn't post on social, we didn't we didn't do anything. We didn't network. We didn't even go to the hub talks where people go down and do business things. And we probably had the best creative work definitely in Central Oregon, and we probably matched some of the bigger agencies in Portland from the work that we did. Nobody knew, nobody saw, nobody cared. And if you have that attitude, it's a super detrimental attitude to have.
It
And I,
can shoot you in the foot. It has shot me in the foot many a times.
I'm literally in the process of trying to work my way out of it. I don't think that there's some things that I can give up in this PDA concept that we're talking about, but we're literally doing it right now. This is not something I would have done years ago.
Yeah.
And I should have done it years ago, maybe if I was just after money and that was the thing. Now this is more of like a mental health
It's an
exercise
exercise.
for
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
PDA is
but
just
that,
one way to look
that
at it.
yeah, no, it's I've never even thought of
Have you
this.
ever done any, have you done that quiz by Gretchen Rubin, The Four Tendencies? She says that people fall into one of four categories, like that everyone falls into one of four categories based on where your interest, where your motivation comes from. So there are upholders who are motivated by what they want, what they think is right, and also by what they've told other people they'll do, by the expectation that people have for them. They're motivated by both of those things. And then there's obligers who are only primarily motivated by what other people need them to do, what they are expected, what's expected of them. And then there's questioners who are motivated intrinsically they are not going to do anything that somebody else wants unless they have decided that that's what they're going to do, that they've asked all the questions and that makes sense to them. And then there's the rebels. And I suspect you probably fall into that category, as do I. And we are not motivated either way. Our motto is, you can't make me and neither can I.
Yeah. That that sounds very much like me, but I do think that the question thing,
You're probably closer to a questioner because you really do
yeah,
need all the
maybe it's like
information.
one of those square charts, right? And
Mhm.
you can kind of
You might be a
be a
little
little bit
closer.
left on that thing because
Yep.
I question everything and I ask people questions and I talk to many people. It's like a ENTP trait where you go out and you survey the world
Yeah.
and you take all that information in and then you kind of compare it to your own thoughts and your own feelings about something. And you might be pulled in a direction, you might be pulled in another, but you might sit on it for could be a long
A
time. It
long
could be
time.
years, right? Until
Yeah.
you feel like it's your right time to do it, or it just magically happens and you fall into it. So that's like a little bit of that rebel stuff. And then the questioner, like that is super interesting.
See, I wish I was a little more like you in the sense that I could sit on things and wait for the right time. I'm so impulsive that I just do it. I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? Let's just do it. Like in 24 hours, I traded in all my clubs and went left-handed. Thank God that's working out so far. But
Right.
so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's pros and cons to that. I think some people look at that waiting period as indecisive or
Well, look at the podcast, for example. You waited a really long time to actually launch this thing because
I
you were
I
getting
s-
all
I
the
started the podcast
information.
7 years ago, but we never really recorded it. So it wasn't a podcast. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, I talked to you like 6 months or 8 months ago about this podcast you want to do, and you have sat on it for a long time. And I know you've been researching and you've been trying to figure out all the right equipment and you've been waiting for it to be the perfect time. Like you were collecting all the information and just like coalescing everything so that it felt like the right time to move.
that's a pretty word that you just used, but
Coalesce.
and I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but that's something that affects the relationships that I have in my solo work life, solopreneur. I don't even know what the words are to say sometimes. Point is, I'll I'll do brand strategy for people and I'll tell them it's going to take a month. The reality is the process takes a couple of days. I need the calendar time, sit with it. And and
Marinate.
then I build it in a day, right? But that whole entire time, I'm in the shower, I'm thinking about it, I'm driving home the long way and I'm thinking about it, I'm walking the dog and I'm thinking about it, I'm playing with the kids and I'm thinking about it. It's just kind of like percolating in the background, what's going on. And that pisses people off because A, they want things very quickly. B, they don't understand why they would pay somebody to do that.
Think.
Right. And so it's a really odd thing, but everywhere in my life, this thing exists. And I don't know, I think it bugs the shit out of people. I mean, you're a P person, right? In your Myers-Briggs, you have a P at the end of
Yeah, I'm
yours,
I'm an ENFP.
right? ENFP. So P people have a tendency to do this, where they just kind of sit with it. And J people are more like bang. They just kind of make the decision and off they go. So P's and J's fight constantly. And my wife is a J. So we
So
kind of
that
fight
tracks.
about these types of things. Yeah. But it's not because I'm stupid. It's not because I'm indecisive. I'm just like I need more data. I need more time. I need more something. It needs
You don't
the
have all
the
the
ru-
information yet. I
right,
get
or
it.
the roux just needs to like become its thing.
I
It's
used
not
to do that
there.
with blog posts. I would get like a blog post topic that I needed to write and I'd do all the research and then I'd walk away for like a week. So
Yeah.
I'd actually, like you said, I'd be in the shower, I'd be walking the dog, I'd be kind of marinating on it and like everything's falling into place in my brain. And then I have it basically written in my head by the time I would sit down to write the post. And it would take 20 minutes to write because I had already kind of like put all the pieces together in my brain. But you need time for that. Like
so weird. I don't know how my wife puts all the puzzle pieces together so quickly. It's like scary fast often, and it works great for her work, right? As a corporate executive, she crushes it, and it's always spot on too. Like her intuition and her feelings paired with her judging trait, and judging isn't judging of people, right? It's just what
Making a
that
judgment.
making a judgment. Yeah, she's got that perfect matchup where it can just be very quickly and swiftly, and it's the right decision more often than not. Probably often, or
Are you
probably right
guys
100% of the
are
time.
you guys very different?
100% different on our letters. She's an INFJ and I'm an ENTP. The INFJ is they're a very small percentage of the population. They're the smallest group of the personality types in the like 1% tile. And the ENTP is relatively small. It's in that like maybe 15% of people, something like that. It just so happens that the perfect match for a relationship for an INFJ is an ENTP. So we have the perfect match. But I'll be honest, and I didn't see this coming before this relationship, the differences in those letters and the two different people, and then the endless variables of the people and their circumstances and upbringing and nature and nurture and all of that, they're so different. They clash often. And it's just something that we have to constantly work through. And there are some days, some weeks that are just, not super great. And we both feel it and we're not quite sure how to get out of that. And that goes for everybody in a relationship for sure. But I think with our two types, we're just hard-headed, we're strong-willed, we're independent, and we're trying to do this thing together. It
Hmm.
makes it really hard, but we love each other very much and we're going to continue to do what we do. We just have to always somehow go back to the foundation of this stuff and realize that we are 100% opposite of each other, even though we have very similar things that we like. So,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
Jeremy and I are
it's
very different
interesting.
also. We are very, very different in
Yeah.
a lot of the same ways that you and Marshall are probably different. Um, and it's tough sometimes when you're trying to navigate the world alongside somebody who thinks completely differently than you do. But I think our values being so similar and like the fundamental core of what we believe about the world and about what kind of person we want to be, that keeps you together, right? Like if you believe in the same things at your core, like Jeremy and I are lucky, like politically we're very aligned, like fundamentally everything is pretty much aligned, but we just operate completely differently. Like if you give us the
Yeah.
same problem, we're going to approach it two completely different ways. But we'll get
If
there.
Marshall and I say the same words, they literally mean something different to us individually.
Hmm.
She will realize sometimes when she says something to me that what I heard or what I comprehended, what I understood was not even in the ballpark of what she meant by it. And it's kind of a miracle that not just us, humanity is able to survive and move forward every single day because there are 16 types and then there are variations of every single type within that and then there's the circumstances and the nature versus nurture stuff. It's a miracle that we're getting along as well as we do despite all of the things that are going on. And then there's you throw in sex into that thing, male and
Hmm.
female, right? Because you can have a personality type that is a male and there's a counterpart with the same personality type that is a female, and those traits show up vastly different
Hmm.
between the two people. It's a very crazy, crazy thing,
Yeah.
especially when you have a male with a female trait, right? If let's say you have a male who has the F in their personality type, the feeler type,
Hmm.
they don't necessarily know how to handle that because they live in the emotional land where a thinker is just very kind of logical. So that's why you see a lot of men with that kind of like logic attitude, and women are typically females, or I'm sorry, Of
Typically.
course, typically depends on who you ask and what your political stance is, but women typically have the feeling trait. So when those two things cross, when you see a female with a thinking trait, they're you're like, who is this like robot lady, right?
Hmm.
And then when you see a man with the feeler trait, you're like, who's this like touchy-feely huggy guy? Like, why does he give me a hug every time I see him? I don't understand. Because two thinkers will just be like, what's up, dude? High five or knuckles or whatever the thing is, right? And we all have this kind of mix around us. We have people that we know that have these things, and it's just super, super odd, super interesting. But
Yeah. I mean, there's a correlation there with the Clifton strengths too. You've got your 34 strength themes, and even in your top five, I think there's like a almost 39 million%, or there's an almost 39 million, 1 in 39 million chance that your top five would be the same order as somebody else's. You'd have the same
I
one in
hope,
the same order. So extend that to all 34, and there's maybe one or it's like a handful of people in the world who have the same strengths in the same order that you do. Then layer on your personal experiences, your gender, your work experience, your trauma, all the things that make you who you are. And there's just nobody in the world who's going to show up in the same way with the same story and approach as you. So think about that in terms of business. When you're creating a business and you're building a brand, nobody's going to do it the same way you would do it. Nobody.
yeah. I've said that a couple of times, and this is a terrible response for why should I hire you? Um, but I've said that in the past where I'm like, hey, nobody's gonna do it like me because I'm the only me. And
Yeah.
if you like me, that's why you should hire me. I'm not gonna tell you to hire me because my process is cool or um, I think differently or I try to just stay out of any of that stuff. Like I'm the only me. Do you like me? Then hire me. If not, go hire the somebody else that fits with you better.
Oh
And
God, I hate.
sure, the gurus would have something better to say than that, but I get lost in those sales meetings sometimes and I just say the damn thing that I'm
We
supposed to say.
we don't us entrepreneurial types hate to like beg for anything either. Like I hope I never have to beg for a job again or
Oh
like
my
sit in an
gosh.
interview and convince somebody why I'm the right choice. I might not be. I'm probably not,
Probably
honestly.
not. Yeah.
You're you're going to be really sorry you hired me
The
actually.
odds of you actually liking how I work and communicating with me and being around
Yeah.
me is slim to none. So you should probably
Also,
not hire me.
also the odds of me doing what I'm told are very slim.
It's
So,
just super
let's
low.
just get that right out of the way.
Oh, that's
But
classic.
that's why I love all the assessments and the Clifton strengths and like looking at my strengths and my personality. Of course I'm a terrible employee. I
Yeah,
hate I hate the idea that I have strategy really high. If somebody tells me to do something, I want to know why we're doing it that way because
for
there
sure.
might be a smarter, better, faster, easier way to do it. And if it's not efficient, like just like the golf rule that I was telling you about, where the men's league doesn't even play with that rule, but the women's league has this rule that you can't get free relief on the wrong side of the cart path in the tree
Insane.
well, even though the course itself has this local rule. And so I sit down with the girls after this last time, after that was clarified to me, and I was all, we need to talk. Like
Yeah,
I'm the newbie. This is like my third time playing with them, and I'm in there going, you guys, listen, we got a problem. We got to change this rule. This is bullshit. But the thing is, here's the thing. I'm not the only one that thinks that. All the other gals I was talking to, they're like, I know it's a terrible rule. Why do we play that way? I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, who do we talk to change this rule? But employers don't like that.
no, 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 no. Uh-uh. I've never been a great employee.
You know
Never
what
have.
though? I used to say that I was unemployable, that I'm broken in that way. I'm terrible at being employed by somebody. And it's, maybe it's the PDA, maybe it's just my attitude or my strategy, whatever. But I wish somebody when I was younger had told me, maybe you're not broken, maybe you're just highly entrepreneurial.
Sure.
Like that's a totally different way to look at that. And I spent so many years feeling like a fucking asshole because I can't do what I'm told.
Yeah, I I mean, you're very employable, and it just takes that person who understands that that's what they need in their company to hire you, right? You have to have somebody who is far enough outside of that little tiny circle that you're talking about of what
Hmm.
people should be and act like and look like. And you need somebody that's far enough outside of that to say, I need somebody who kind of breaks the rules, somebody who is a free thinker, somebody who does things completely different outside of this tech bubble that we're in or this golf bubble that we're in, whatever the thing is. I need somebody outside of that. But the problem is the majority of people don't want to act outside of that bubble. They want to stay in it because they've seen success inside of that bubble.
Hmm.
Nike is successful. We better do exactly what Nike says. Well, if you do exactly what Nike says, then you would probably fire all of your people and hire people like us because that's how they were actually founded. You're just looking at it through the lens of today or
Yeah.
something like that. And so you have to somehow align yourself with those people who value those things. Um, I've had meetings with CEOs and higher up folks, and they listen to me and they maybe believe part of it and they don't believe part of it, and ultimately at the end of the day they don't want somebody like me on the team because I'm going to cause trouble or stir something up or I'm going to say something off color or I'm going to pose a crazy idea or something and they just don't want that. Or in their mind they're thinking it's going to take a long time to develop this person, it's going to take a lot of money and resources to do this guy's ideas or something like that. And so I get it. I don't fault them. I'm not mad at them. I'm just those are the things that I notice. Like
Yeah.
you need to have a little bit of crazy in you to want crazy me
Well, the very
working with you.
definition of having an employee is that you get to control what they do. And people like you and I are very hard to control. And that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like, I wouldn't want to hire me. I'm going to cause a lot of problems in your business
Yeah.
unless you actually want to, like, let me do my own thing, which is
Oh my
not going to
God.
happen.
Let me tell you this quick story really fast. It's an oxymoron, isn't it? Quick story really fast. Um, I was hired to do a website, and the first meeting that we had prior to me getting paid was to meet with the software guys. The software guys did the booking software for this company. And we had the meeting with them, and I realized really quickly that these guys were doing some illegal shit. This was not a PCI compliant software. They were sending credit card information via JavaScript and get post functionality to their server and then sending it from their server to the payment processor. So I sat through the entire meeting, kind of asked some poking, prodding, prying questions to see what the people would say. And I got a really, really bad feeling about it. We got off the call and I called the owner of the company and was like, hey, I think this shit is super illegal and you guys have been doing it for the last 2 years. I'm not going to put my name on this website. I don't want to be a part of this. I'm not going to be complicit and or implicit, whatever the word is. I'm
Complicit, I
not
think
going to,
is.
yeah, I'm not going to be a part of this stuff. So I lost this $15,000 website because I couldn't be a part of that. Uh, he
Good for
was
you.
very, he was very, very thankful, and the entire situation became very real and blew up for them because they reached out to the software company, which really isn't a company, it's a dude in a van traveling around the country, and his partner now lives in like Brazil or Belize or something. Super, super sketchy. But it like blew that whole situation up, and
Yeah.
the opportunity just for me to make some money didn't happen. But
Yeah.
this is a prime example of how my brain works at picking everything apart as we're going through this. And I don't know what the moral of the story is, but it's like I'm
The
gonna
moral of the
I'm
story
gonna
is that,
cause some shit, is what I'm saying. I'm gonna fuck something up here in
well,
a good way.
you're not gonna just sit there and do what you're told without thinking. And I
Right.
think a lot of, like, you want to get on the whole patriarchy capitalism thing here. those systems only work if everybody's doing what they're told and stays in their place and doesn't upset the boat.
Percent.
So of course you're going to be a problem.
Yeah, I'm a
No,
problem
no
everywhere.
thinking over here, Kevin. No thinking. No thinking
Right.
aloud.
Yeah. Just do. Just
Just
do. That's
do
all
what
we
you're
want.
told so that we can produce things and make money and just stay in your place and do what you're told.
Yep. Yep. It's a
So
real thing. Well, what do you think, Kara? We're at like
3 hours.
we're at about 3 hours. What do you think?
Well, I hope we have some nuggets in here that you can use.
There's no nuggets. We're gonna put the whole thing up. I mean, minus the technical
The
glitches
glitches in
and
the middle. Yeah, I think
yeah.
it was fun talking. I think you're gonna have some really interesting conversations.
So, I mean, this is really fun. I know that it like went into golf for a long time, but I'm interested in golf and I don't
You
care. I
never
think
know.
it was a blast.
You never know where we're gonna land.
So let's say our goodbyes and then we'll stay on for a few minutes afterwards.
Okay. Goodbye.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks
Bye,
for having
everybody.
me.